Salina.
It's a vibe, baby. Oak Cliff girl, can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl, put them heels on and prove.
Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You gon' be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.
Hey y'all, how is everybody doing today? You know, that's what we say in Texas. Hey, the word, young yes, Sonny, how are you? Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you guys just for stopping through. I'm waiting on my guest, Mr. Brainwaves, and if Ralo is in the building. But before they come up, I just want to talk. Well, let me go ahead and cam up since I cammed up earlier. Hello. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming through and spending some more time with your girl. Look, I want to talk a little bit about real and fake people. And if you guys know anything about the Bible, you know, there is a scripture, I believe it's in Matthew, when it talks about the wheat and tare and how basically, the wheat and tare will be separated. So you'll know the good from the bad. And sometimes in life, okay, hey, Ralo, the link is in the chat. If you are ready, you're more than happy to, let me go ahead and pin it up there. Let me see. When you are dealing with life in situations, sometimes your discernment is off about situations or about people. Hey, Tay. Sometimes your discernment can be a little off. Sometimes you miss some things, because you just do. You want to believe you want to believe the best in people, right? But at the end of the day, it's not always, hey, Miss E, how are you? Good to see you. At the end of the day, some people you just have to call a spade a spade. We want to believe the best in people, but sometimes it's not there. So I've been in situations to where I wanted to believe the best in people. I wanted to see, that, not judge people and to give people a chance. But I found out that, it's not going to be. Some people I was very disappointed with. Ralo, if you can tell Brainwaves, the link is pinned at the top. So if you could let him know that. I think I put it at the top. Sometimes it is what it is. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, in the real world and on YouTube, trusting people or believing people were better than what they were, just to be disappointed. And I always have this friend, and and my friend Denise, she can tell you. She always tell me, Selena, watch out for that one. Watch out for this one. Watch out for that one. And every person, I'm talking about every person. Because see, no, Denise. Well, maybe Denise. And Denise will tell me, watch it. And you always have to have that friend, right? That's there to kind of, hey, Don, how are you? That will let you know what? You need to watch this person. What's up, Sick'em Dogs? Good to see you. What's up, Young Riaz? Good to see you. You'll always have that friend that will be like, nah, you better watch out for that one. And thank God for the Tanises in the world. The Tanises that will tell you, you better not hey Tuber, how are you? You better not. And and then when you make that mistake and you decide to give people that chance, only to find out that your friend, just like Denise, was right. She was right. So I will say thank God for those Tanises in the world that will let you know, hey, don't go down that road with people. Sometimes people can see things that you can't, outside looking in, because you're in the mix, right? So sometimes you'll miss some things, but you'll have somebody, there she go, you'll have somebody there to be like, no, what I'm seeing is right. Hey, Ralo, good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, he got
Hey,
game.
what's going on? How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Let brother Brainwaves know the pin is link. I couldn't, type it, but
He's on his show right now. And he
oh,
started a bit late, so he will be
oh,
done
okay. It's all
with the
good. Well,
yeah.
hey, it's good. It's good to have you in the chat. I want to know with you. You seem like a pretty discerning brother, and I want to know: have you been in situations where you have sometimes been fooled by people, and what were some of the signs that you overlooked? You know, so
The
you can.
overly nice situation, always being overly nice, always going over the top. It's like if you work at a place and you see people go over the top, you tend to want to do the same thing, and then come to find out that them same people you trying to interact with be the ones that go to the office and report you because you it's like you
Right.
market yourself to be in a situation. It's like, let's say you work for somebody for the first time and somebody else, you're seeing how they move, you ask them questions and you do it, and they start seeing you doing it better because your wheat is growing. Now they deteriorating. So now they go to the office. Oh, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's
Right.
doing it.
Right.
Yet because there's a lot of tears around you, and you the wheat, and you bring in growth. Any
Uh-huh.
company doesn't want growth. I'm gonna say this: running a business, most companies I interact with or talk with,
Uh-huh.
they don't want to see an individual grow to the potential to where they at. They want you to stay at
Right.
a certain limit. So let's
Mhm.
say you come in, you make $15 an hour.
Mhm.
The other person been there for 5 years, started off with $10 an hour. Now they give them a little raise here and there to $15 an hour. And all of a
Mhm.
sudden they come to you and say, hey, we love what you're doing. You bringing us more revenue. They give you $20 an hour. Nobody knows, only you and the person, the manager. And then all of a sudden the manager's a tear. Going to tell everybody, you see that person right there? They go all beyond. We go above and beyond. And all
Uh-huh.
of a sudden, everybody, all the weeks is teaming up on you to do all the tears is trying to team up on you to destroy the wheat.
Mhm.
That's what they're doing right now. Or even though they
Right. Hey Christina, how are you? Um he got game. Do you have a question? Can you put it in the chat? Somebody wants to ask you a question, Ralo. Hey CX. So, hey, Brainwaves, good to see you. Thank you for coming through. I know you had a busy schedule today. Um, Thank you. I'm glad. I'm doing good, Christina. Thank you guys for coming through and checking us out today. I'm glad you came through. I know you was extremely busy. You had a live earlier today. I had did a little interview with Brother The Word, so we had a good time over there with the nine. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. It has been a busy day. As I told people, I hadn't been home. I've been out. I was late for my live because I got stuck in traffic. It's ATL accident. So um,
Okay.
1 minute is good. Next, everything's backed up for miles. So I was like, well, there goes the time. But nonetheless, I'm glad to be here. My apologies for not being here at the start of the show.
Oh,
I was trying to end my show, and that's another conversation for another day. But I'm so thankful for being here. Thank you for having me on once again. What's going on, Ralo? We were
Well,
talking in the chat,
brainwaves.
and this whole wheat and tares conversation is something that everyone can relate to right now, because you're either a wheat or you're a tear.
mhm.
Whichever one you are, what essentially is taking place is, and this is what people are seeing in all types of communities, no matter what they are. You pick a community. I used to tell people, close your eyes, spin the globe of communities, and wherever your finger lands, it applies to that. You're seeing
Mhm.
people separate. You're seeing an increase of separation. And so a lot of people are confused. They're like, wait a minute. I thought all of these people were together. You're even seeing, like, even like in the political space, for example, you're seeing
Mhm.
people, and I don't really get into all the politics, but you see, like, for instance, Republicans breaking camp. Now they're going towards the Democrats breaking camp, going to Republicans. You see the reflection of this in a lot of content creators, all types of spaces. You just see what appears to be division. And this is ordered by the Most High. It's in Scripture. And
Mhm.
that's what's taking place. We're literally in that time. So this
Mhm.
is why when Cat Williams said this is the exposure season, everybody
Right.
is seeing who's who, and they're seeing who else is who's who. And we're
Right.
all coming apart or separating and moving in or out or what have you of different groups, so that we can go ahead and be a part of whatever team that you're going to be a part of. And then the rest of the things that scripture says will play out.
Hey, T1000. Now, Ralo and Brainwaves, do you want to
Let's
answer
answer
this?
this question, because it seems like Lost now is bringing his running interference. I find it's interesting that he's bringing this up, and I'm watching what he's saying. We don't have to fight this dude. This dude don't want to fight. If you think, because I got the receipts of that, of him saying that he want to fight us. I already got that on tape, just in case he takes it down. The dude doesn't want to fight. If he wanted to fight, he should have fight us there when we was at right there in North Carolina. If he wanted to fight Brainwaves, he could have fight Brainwaves at the line. Stop it. The
And
dude
also,
doesn't want to fight. He does not want to fight.
And Kip, for the future reference, this is what I want to say to everyone coming in the chat, talking about that situation. This will
yeah.
be the last comment that we're going to address the whole new breed, whatever situation on this show. I don't care if you're coming from my end, Rollo's end, New Breed's end, Selena's end, wherever you are. If anybody comes on this show trying to talk about new breed, because that's not what this is about, you might get timed out, ignored, you might get blocked. We're not going to respond, because that's
Yep.
not what this show is about. If y'all want to talk about that, come on my show at another time. Come into my chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. Come on Rallo's show, but please be respectful of Selena, her
Exactly.
platform. We're talking about wheat and tares. This is an interview, okay? So you all in attendance in the audience, just like this is a live show. Look at this as a live show on air right now on TV. You have the audience, and the audience gets cues, and there's certain things they can and can't do. There are times when the guest, the host, whatever, interact with the audience, but not in that manner. So let's do Selena that level of respect as well as us, and keep this about the wheat and the tares.
Yeah, this is not about brother New Breed. I don't have an issue with him, a personal issue with him. So I wanted to do this particular topic with these gentlemen because I want to get a male's perspective on how they saw this, about, discerning people, the good and the bad. Are you the bad? Are you the good? So that's the things that I want to talk about. Plus, it came out of Matthew 13. So, um, okay, I appreciate it. Yeah. So I don't have a problem. Again, I don't have a problem with people just because I like other people or dislike another person because of another person. So, um, I just like to keep it keep it Gucci over here, keep it neutral. And yeah, that's what I'm about. And some things you can't keep it neutral. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, you either on the right or the wrong side. But some subjects I don't get into because I stay in my zone. So yeah, I just, sometimes if I want to know, I'm nosy, I'm asking questions. But other than that, I ain't gonna say too much about, any opinions. Hey Gary, hey T1000, and I hope that is clear to everybody. Hey, I'm gonna say BD. Hey BDB, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you guys for coming through and saying hello to me. Bama, hey Bama, the word and the beef channel. Thank you for coming through. So back to on topic. I was looking at wheat and tares because I know that wheat and tares are very similar in how they look. Um, let me see if I could find an example of it because I thought this was pretty interesting how sometimes the Bible used parables. And this is the thing about wheat and tares, with them looking so much alike, um, but they also are very different. That just shows how people are. There's people that look alike. They act alike. They say the right lingo. They say the right the message, or they say the right scriptures, but they're nothing of what they preach about or teach about. And we all have to be very aware of how we really are on the inside. I'm gonna show a picture of this if I can. I'm gonna try to share it, and you guys can expound on that. One thing I will say is anybody that hey Marissa, how are you? Anybody that is trolling anyone in the chat, um or trying to cause confusion, we're not having that. I'm gonna give you a warning, and then I will go ahead and tell my mods to block you, because there's no trolling. Again, we're not talking about um a particular person. This is a general topic. So I want to make that very clear. We're not trolling people, using people's names. That's immature. We're not going to do that. So let's just be respectful of my chat. Now, if you want to go on their chat and talk to them and, go back and forth with them, that's a different story. But over here, this is, like I said, I have no dog in the fight. I just want to just do my content. So I hope that is understood. Let me show you this, guys. What is wheat and tares? So do you guys see this picture? Let me see if I can make it big enough for you guys to see. I don't know. I'm not.
I see it.
I have one, Selena. If not, that I'm trying to share.
Okay, if you can share yours too as well.
Let me see. It says that it's shared. Let me make sure I can get that on the screen. You see, it's showing me instead of. I have the picture up, but I'm not sure if it's something you need to hit.
She has to remove hers and add yours on.
Okay. Let me just show mine a little bit. Do you see the similarities of the wheat and the tare? Yes. So you see how similar they are. One is a little bit more golden, the other one's not so golden. Mm-hmm. Let's see what some other similarities. Just the way that on the wheat, okay, you see these other little they look like little strings, but this one on here doesn't have it. It's just it just stands up. Let me see. Let me get out of mine so that I can add yours. If this is you, can you cam up? If not, I'm going to have to remove you. Now let me see. This is yours. Add yours.
There we go.
Okay. So do you see the difference? How those the parts over here, they sprout out, and the tares, they look like they almost dead, but they still do in some ways look similar.
Yep.
But that's just how people are.
I That's exactly the case. Like according to Matthew, which you'll find in Matthew chapter 13, basically, like in verse 31, it talks about that the kingdom of heaven is like a grain of a mustard seed. And what happens is with a mustard seed, it is the least of all seeds. We hear that reference to having faith of a mustard seed. If you have faith of
Right.
a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Well, that seed is the smallest seed. It is the ones that look like they're not the greatest out here. This might shed light for everyone in the audience trying to understand the difference between the two. So what essentially what you'll have is that the wheat will actually um, produce. Let me just explain it this way because I don't want to produce any type of confusion for those that don't understand the crop and all of that. What happens is the mustard seed, again, as I was saying, it's the smallest seed. It looks like it's not going to produce anything. It looks like it's a
Right.
waste of time. And these are the people in society that say look like they have the smallest platforms. It looks like the efforts that they're doing on things is a
Like
waste
mine?
of time. Well, well, we can use that as an example,
Yeah.
Sarita. This is a prime example. Let's use your
Right.
platform as an example. Your platform doesn't have the quote unquote let's just use subscribers. It doesn't have the subscriber count of say like 500,000, a
Right.
couple million subscribers. However, what you're producing, the quality of your content, the quality of your hosts, the quality of your attendees, et cetera, is producing greatness. It keeps growing, it keeps leading to abundance. There's a lot of growth. You have a lot of big channels now that would be, say, in the interview space that, yeah, they got the numbers, they get that, but their quality's
Mhm.
dead. And so that's the difference between the wheat and the tares. A lot of people or a lot of things and structures in society were once producing all the big numbers,
Mhm.
all the big stuff, and now they're dying out, even though they look very similar to us. They're structured similar. Somebody might dress the same, speak the same, whatever it is, might be in the same industry, what have you, but they're not producing. And now what you're having is the mustard seed, the smallest one, it's always been so abundant. So it starts a domino effect. More here, more here, more here. No one was paying attention to it because it was so small, so little, so insignificant. It didn't start out big. They're not big right now. And now you're seeing the mustard seed turn into a big thing and it's continuously populating abundance. So that's the big difference when you look at situations and people. What is producing abundance and what is not producing abundance?
Okay. I like that. I like that. I like how you broke that down. Okay. So with the wheat and the tares, people, how we see people, sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. We have hell, we might need to discern ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we be a little off too. So I want to know from your standpoint on your discernment. Discernment is a big thing that people talk about. People say you have to have discernment or you have they have their third eye. I don't get into the third eye. That's more of the new age. But discernment, I believe, is something that comes from God. It's like that. I don't know if it's a gut feeling or it's something that you feel strongly about. And sometimes we overlook it. Can you tell me what discernment looks like to you guys?
I'm
You
gonna
want to
go
go,
first.
Ralo?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna
that's
go
what I was
first.
thinking.
Okay, so as I was saying earlier about, I'm gonna use a job as an analogy.
Mm-hmm.
You come in, like Brainwave said, you start off small, meaning you start off with the minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's been there for a long time, start off $5 less and got $5 more within the 3 year span. However, you're doing the same identical thing.
Right.
Your seed is growing to the point the company recognize your growth. This other individual is not growing the way you growing. So they give you based on your performance. And then the other tears, including a manager, because a manager could be a tear and try to form you into a tear. So you have to be careful of what gifts of a wheat not supposed to give a gift to a tear, because when the wheat gives a gift to a tear, now it's taking your energy, because the
Mhm.
wheat is powerful energy, is the powerful income, is the powerful light, the powerful being, and it
Right.
attracts the sun. It attracts the warm temperature, the cool temperature. The tear is like the winter and the fall. It
Mhm.
doesn't grow anything. That's like with the food right now. Most of the food is tear. That's why they bring in more abominable things. And so when we was coming up, we was eating the wheat. We didn't have to eat more than one time a day. Now people are eating 4 or 5 times a day. That's because the wheat doesn't grow anything.
Right.
That includes in relationships, business, personalities, the way how they
Mhm.
go about things. We don't bring drama. A wheat don't bring drama. A wheat corrects the tear. And the tear
Mhm.
wants to take from the wheat all the time. It wants to take from you, take from you, take from you. So you don't have your situation going. That's how I look at it. I let brainwaves
Right.
go over that.
Wow. Man, Ralo, that's fire. That's straight fire the way you presented it. It's so much fire that I want to pick up where you left off.
Okay.
Okay.
uh, Ralo mentioned a very, very, very critical point. He was saying how the wheat and the tear
Mhm.
at some point in time are essentially attached to one another.
Right.
They are, however it plays out, good or bad, bad or good, they are together.
Mhm.
And in order for the overall survival, that separation must take place. This is why it was talked about in the Bible. So what happens is, if the tares are allowed to stay around the wheat,
Mhm.
then it would completely sabotage all life on earth. Everything's about a balance. You have to have good, you have to have bad, bad and good. And so what happens is, with the tares, they're already in a weakened state. They're not doing the things like Rollo said in terms of absorbing the sun, being healthy. The tear more so pulls from the nutrients of the wheat, and this is why they have to separate those crops. They go through and do all of this and stuff like that. They use machines to do that now. We don't really do anything with hands in terms of farmers, but nonetheless, it has to be separated because the tares are basically feeding off, and it's crazy because they're like leeches. They're like energy vampires. So one of the
Mm.
ways you can determine if someone is a wheat or a tear in your life is if you're around individuals and it appears that you get deposits, whether they just make you feel better, you actually do get energy. Maybe they do fix food or suggest certain, meals, or you work out, they say words of edification. It's a long list of things. But when you think about people or even situations, but we'll focus more so on people since we're talking about a living thing, wheat and tares, that's crops, that's full of life, and we're full of life. If people have you feeling abundant, more abundant, like you leave with something, whether you learn something, I don't care what it is, that now there's a thin line between that, but most likely if there's a consistency of it, then that
Mhm.
person is probably a wheat. If you come away from that person or those people and you feel like you're consistently losing things, whether you lose clarity, lose energy, you're literally losing your things, money, you pick a thing, then they're probably a tear. And so if you recognize that, then you need to put distance or completely separate between those people. And this is where you hear the whole analogy of a bank. We're like a bank. We need deposits, or we need more deposits than withdrawals, or we're going to be
Mhm.
overdrawn. And the problem is, most people have tears in their lives because you have the tears that have been feeding off of other wheats around them. And they
Right.
appear as if they're a wheat because it's like, wow, look at this person. They're awesome. They're this. They did this. They're giving me that. They're doing that. And this is what happens in the relationships a lot. Like the guy that got
Uh-huh.
6 figures, the Kevin Samuels list, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sustainable income for 3 to 5 years and all of that.
Oh,
Y'all
what?
help me to put
What the world?
you get the
Uh-huh.
point. So nonetheless, people fall for that, believing that someone is a wheat when they're actually a tear. And what happens is, if they aren't allowed to get that energy supply,
Uh-huh.
then you can see their true color. So as it relates to discernment, sometimes one, it's not always easy to tell because
Exactly.
their survival, the tear survival is dependent upon looking and thriving, acting just, you said it earlier, Selena, just like the wheat.
You're
So
right.
it's not as easy to see, at least initially, but as time goes on, you will see. I will
So
say that.
so hello to everybody that came in. Hello, hello. So you mean to tell me that the tares actually try to feed off of the wheat? And that's exactly how people eat, I would say energy vampires, or really, like you said, leeches that try to suck, you know, your energy, your good, your bad. Now, Martin and God, I, I I don't understand why you took the link, but maybe I need to take the pin, take it from up at the top. I pinned it at the top. But I'm talking to these two gentlemen. So you might have to come back another time when I
Can I
have
repeat, Selena?
Mhm.
Is it okay if I repeat what I said earlier?
Yes.
I'm going to say this to all of the people, especially that I invited over here to Selena's channel. This goes not just for this particular interview, but any of her content, unless she is listing an individual's name. Now we see what's in the chat. Unless she's mentioning New Breed's name in the title, that is the subject, there is a reason for us to actually talk about him or anyone for that matter. I know people hear me talking about him, and I know I have just recently done some content with him. That is to stay on my channel. That is something that I'm doing. But we're over here on Selena's channel, and we need to be respectful of her platform. This is not what she does. She is neutral. She has no beef or any issues with New Breed. She is literally one of the best up and coming interviewers that you're ever going to come across. And we need to treat her as that. So give her that respect. Respect the daughters of Zion. She's not disrespectful to anyone. And I want to see that. That's what I'm about in my chat. I tell y'all I don't like to see nobody calling anyone names and getting into all that stuff. We don't do that mess. So if you're coming over from my channel, I'm going to say, speaking on behalf of Ralo as well, please keep the chat classy. This is a classy woman that we're before.
I try
Ralo's
to be.
obviously a classy man. And hopefully I fit into that same category, waka waka waka. So let's behave in kind.
Okay, I appreciate that. And it was Martin. I understand Martin. It was an accident, but let's just be mindful of that the next time. So thank you so much for your participation and your understanding. So back to what we was talking about. So yeah, like basically I was telling you before how it's some people that sometimes they look so similar. They say the same things, they go to the same church. I'm just say for instance two friends, they go to the same church, they know how to say, scripture, they know how both of them pray. They look very similar to each other. But sometimes one person is not what they seem to be. And I find that more than not, unfortunately. And hey, Angie, Angel, I'm sorry. Um, and I find it very sometimes difficult. I feel like your circles sometimes have to be kind of small because sometimes trusting people, you don't know what you're trusting. And the scripture, when it says try the spirit by the spirit, what does that mean to you?
Exactly. It's literally verbatim to me. You have to try people. So in that example you made, you said you got two women. They're both churchgoers. They praying. They doing all the quote unquote right stuff. So they on the outside they look the same, but a measure
Mhm.
of a person's character is what's inside. That's how defilement comes about. Is whatever we let in our heart, then it's going to come out at some point in time. We're gonna get caught slipping, as we say,
Right.
at some point
Mhm.
in time. So
Exactly.
and under pressure, under fire. Why does the Most High put us through trial and tribulation? Because that shows a person's real character. When pressure is
Mhm.
applied to them, that's when you see the real them. So what happens
Mhm.
is you have to test the spirit,
Right.
meaning you see, okay, this seems like this person is right. This person's legit. You have to sometimes you have to either be in their life long enough to see how they handle those intense pressure moments. That's one you can test, quote unquote, test their spirit. See how they handle those tense moments. I'll
Right.
say another thing. When you have tense moments in your life, if this is a sister or two sisters or whatever, and they're praying in church, and you need her to actually pray for you, let's say you're going through something and you just talk about it, not necessarily details, but you're like, hey, I'm going through it. They see you down. How does that person respond in that situation? Do they ask you, "Hey, are you okay? Are you feeling right?" Do they try to get involved? Again, they'll make an abundant deposit. It'll be that energy transfer that you'll see. So, does that one sister do that? Or does that other sister or the same sister not try to get involved in helping you out? And what you'll find is that the people that walk the walk, or should I say talk the talk rather, they don't walk the walk when the pressure comes, and they
Mhm.
don't actually help you when you're in need. Helping people in need is very simple. Sometimes just saying hello. I do this all the time with me being in law enforcement. People already say, "Oh, you're bad. I'm the bad." I'm already made out to be the bad guy. So I get every mean mug, every look. It's like for every smile and thank you and people glad that I'm out there, I get that like, man, he the reason why we in this situation. Defund the what's, and I don't want to get into all of that and say certain words,
Mhm.
certain words on the channel with the algorithms, but I give people smiles. I wave, even when people don't wave back, when they mean mugging. So they see my character. He's talking to this person. He's waving. He's trying to actually show, like they can see that I actually care. I'm not just standing out there. And so when people see that, that's a deposit. They're
Right.
left with a positive seed in their mind that, okay, well, at least somebody cares out here. Maybe I can go to that person and just speak back or what have you. And so it's these little things, just like we were seeing those little hairs with the wheat and the tares. It's those little things that you have to test the spirit and pay attention to. That's what's going to tell you. It's the fine print when you interact with people.
I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let Ralo speak if he chooses to. I had a situation where I was getting to know a lady at one point, and I was being cordial with her. We were talking and everything, and I um, I have a tendency to sometimes love people. Um, well, I don't think that's a bad thing, but sometimes um, people really have to show themselves as somebody that is a friend. I'll just say that if you show yourself to be a friend and that person shows themselves not to be a friend, then some things you shouldn't I would say. And what I would say with her, I would say, when we were talking on the phone, I said, "Oh, girl, you have a good night. Love you." And I actually meant that with my heart. But this person, either she wasn't used to saying that or she did not feel that way. Right. So when I would say, "Oh, girl, love you, talk to you later," she never responded after that, as far as like nothing, just like, "Okay, bye." And then when a situation happened, and um and I found out that she really didn't like me, but I liked her, for the most part. There was ways about, sometimes there's ways about people, they're not desirable. But um you try to accept people for who they are, because you want somebody to accept you for who you are. But you find out little hints like that. That's my point. Sometimes little things like that can show you where people are, whether, it may not be, so much of a spiritual thing, but it could be just a simple fact. Do this person actually like me or not? That's the question. Riz, no, this link is not for you, sweetie. Sorry. I don't know why people want to come up. This is not an open panel. But thank you for coming through, Riz. I appreciate it. So now you can expound on that, Ralo, if you would like to.
Well, one thing that you both said, and I'm gonna add on to it, is the force. It doesn't take long to know when a person is forcing their situation on you. I'll give you a case and example. You talk to a person for the first time, they'll liberate their problems to you out the blue. You don't know them for verbatim. You haven't met them.
Mm-hmm.
And you meet them and they still talking about something that you talk about the first time. That's a red flag right there. If we talked about it from the get-go, I'm going to be leery of it. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes on you, because now, why would you come to me for the first time and say, hey, I got this issue? Everybody has certain issues. That's not the first time you should have a conversation with someone. So that's one of the red flags. Another thing is they try to make it seem like they rooting for you and try to put certain stipulations on you.
Uh-huh.
And they being sent like a total recall.
Right.
A lot of total recalls with these tears. And in the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was dealing with a Pacific he thought was a significant other, and she was trained by authorities, by the tears, to keep tabs on him because he was the weak. He was bringing the people together. Once they know you could bring people together, like how Christ gathered the people and the Pharisees and the Sadducees with the tares, when you're doing it without forcing, because Christ didn't force people to change,
right,
he gave them an opportunity to see where they went wrong, just like what we do. Wheats give a people an opportunity to see where they go wrong. Tares always want to bring destruction. And if you look at the fall and the winter, it's a tear because nothing grows. Spring and summer, things blossom. That's why it's different seasons for different reasons. And so when you go through a certain season, you go through a change.
Mm-hmm.
You don't stay the same. The wheat only goes to a certain point and then it dies off. As you stated earlier, it dies.
Mm.
So we don't force people to do certain things they choose to. They have to show themselves, and we just keep on giving the shine. But without the shine, there's no darkness. Without the wheat, there will be no tares. Without no tares, there won't be no wheat. So it has to be a balance. We don't have to dibble and dabble into them because they're not bringing nothing. It's just a waste of time. It's nothing growing. I'm gonna give you another example. Look at the states right now. Y'all talked about the politicians. Here in New York, Florida is blossoming. Back then, it wasn't blossoming. It's blossoming to the point it's a magnetic field that all the states of the people want to go to Florida.
You're right.
Because it's the sunshine state. It's blossoming. It's growing. And now all these other people want to just take from Florida, or take from North Carolina or Georgia or the South in particular. The Northerners coming down there with the wheats. Oh, we want the wheats, and they want to take from the wheats. The wheats are leaving the northern states. The tares is trying to keep what's left of the wheats up there. If you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. I really like that, Ralo. Urban has a question. Either one of you can answer it. Why did Jesus say to let the wheat and tares grow together until harvest?
Ooh, goody.
Good question.
This is easy. It's a definite good question. I'm glad you asked this, Urban. So, in order for people to have a clear understanding, okay, the whole point is having clear understanding without confusion. That's everything that Christ is about. We know Satan's about confusion. So everything that Christ does, it has to be clear. If the wheat and the tares grow together, it's also based upon a parable of reaping what you sow. So if they're both sown together, they both come from the same place, they get the same opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. No one can twist and say, well, this was unfair. I'm acting. So, for instance, I'll give you a good example of that. You know how some people say maybe a child growing up has two abusive parents. And so, because of that abuse, that child then responds out of anger. You know, they become like a bully or something like that throughout life. And one could say, well, you know, that's because they didn't have this fair, wholesome upbringing. This is why the way that they are, et cetera, et cetera. Well, if you have two children and they both come from a wholesome background, then if one child decides to take that bully route, that's literally showing that person's true color. That's showing the essence of that child, what that child is choosing to do. And it can't be based upon some type of unfairness or things that weren't balanced. So, what happens is, according to scripture, God allows everyone, we all are afforded the same opportunities, you know, for the most part. I don't want to get into those unique circumstances, but generally speaking, we're afforded essentially the same type of conditions for the most part, at least those of us in the same area. Like if we grow up in the same city, same state, same what have you, we're in the same income bracket. This is what I'm referring to. Then we have the same everything. So how we decide to turn out is up to us. And so that is essentially what happens at the end. It shows the true colors and it shows the desire of that path. Because if you choose to bring in the light, like the sunlight, you choose to absorb that and you choose to just keep storing up the energy and being good, that's something that's just going to attract more as you do it. That's why the mustard seed has abundance. It's just literally how things work in life. It's a mathematical law, scientific law, biblical law. It's just you reap what you sow. So if you're doing something, like if you do good, you're going to receive more good. So if you're a healthy crop, you're going to continue to produce healthy seeds, and then they're going to produce more healthy crops, et cetera, et cetera. If you are a sick crop, you're going to produce that. And so that's something that's going to be shown, that if they come out the same way, they're in the same space, they're doing the same thing, but then you begin to see what's producing around them. Look at the seeds around it. It's not so much about the wheat itself, the tear itself. Look at the seeds. Those are the people. Those are the circumstances around them. When you see that those aren't fruitful or those are fruitful, that's when you know, okay, that is a wheat and that is a tear. Because it's easy to be deceived when you just look at the wheat and the tear itself. As you said, Selena, they look so similar. But when you see the fruits, or should we say the seeds in this case, being produced, that will tell you which one is which.
Yes, and I agree with that. Hey, Miss Holly Favor, how are you? Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming through. Yes, and I agree with that. And you know, Gary had something. He said a clear understanding and appreciation of the wheat, seeing the difference of the tear, and that is true. I believe that sometimes God, with His amazing knowledge, you know, he already knows that you know, people are going to be different. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that, he already knows what is good and what is evil. You know what I'm saying? He is the perfect judge of that. So when we see this parable, I mean, it's just, it's in our everyday life. Some people, they look so good, and what I mean by that is they know what to say. They look good. They know what to say. They have a persona to me, as if they are holier than thou, or that they love you so much. And some people are just as fake as a $3 bill. You know, as my grandmother would say, some people are just, they're like imposters. I just I always wanted to make sure that I just be myself. You know what I'm saying? And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you just don't. But I never really wanted to try to, I would say, knowingly or purposely try to be something to people that I'm not. Like I told y'all, when y'all come on here and the people that, you know, join me, it's some days I'm just not gonna be good. I try not to come on live when I'm like that, so y'all won't see me flip out. But it happens. Now, am I making an excuse for it? No, I take full accountability for my negative behavior if that's how I'm acting that day. But at the same time, I want to be myself. But it's so many times people will put on a front and act as if there's something that they're not. You'll have people that will love bomb you. Now, on the other flip side, you have people that love bomb you, like Ralo was saying. Some people that's overly nice, or they over compliment you. Oh, you're so handsome. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so talented, and all this kind of stuff, just to find out that they don't even like you. And this is what, so God has already showed us through scriptures how people can be, how maybe we could be. You know what I'm saying? Because some of us that think we on the right side may not be. That's between you and God to know that. But I'm saying how sometimes the parables will show us real life. You know what I'm saying? Real people, what we go through on a day-to-day dealing with people. Do y'all have anything to add to that? Hey, 41.
Oh, I sure do. That's a good analysis, Selena. It's like when you meet somebody for the first time, it's like jiggle bugs. Like
Right.
you're going through the pronounces of what you going to say first. Because, guys, when you talk to a lady, the first 30 seconds is going to be the key if she's interested in you or she's
Right.
interested in you. When you try to force her to like you and love you, you're a fool. I'm sorry. You can't force a person to love you and respect you. It comes through your observation, how you move, how you deal with your surroundings, what details you're paying attention to.
Right.
Sometimes you make it so complicated. You can't get her to laugh. You can't get her to smile because you're trying to force it. You're trying to force her to be with you. Nah, just chill. Take it easy. It's like different types of waters. They have their time. Let them see what you're about and let them come to you accordingly. When they come to you accordingly, you present your case and keep it moving. All this, oh, baby, I love you. I miss you. I've been thinking about you. Stop it. Because that's not the only one you're thinking about. And she knows that. Be yourself and stop playing games. Because see, the tears, they love to do the love bomb. They love to force things. They love to push that masculinity. Listen, you don't have to push it. A woman knows if you're masculine or not. Pushing this, pushing that, proving the point, proving this, proving that. That's what tears do. Want to prove things. We don't got to prove nothing. The weak chill. He's shining wherever he goes. Even if the place is dark, like New York is dark, I'm shining wherever I go. And we don't look for attention. We get it naturally. All you think that's, weak. You get it naturally. You could be, wearing certain clothes that's not revealing everything, and you still get attention. Why? Because of that light. The tears is like, Dad, man, I don't know how to approach that. Yeah, because her light is so shining that she gonna be like, what is this person? Who the heck you think he is?
Like, what he on?
Exactly.
Hey, what the? Yeah, I got you.
So then when you see when a wheat and a wheat get together, that's when, if you notice with the population thing, right? They're trying to reset the population now all of a sudden. They wanted no population. Why they want to reset the population? Because they realize it's too many tares. It's not too many wheats. And when things are unbalanced, that's when the plagues come.
Right.
Bring destruction to the tares, not the wheats. That's what happened during the time of Moses. He was shining.
Well, Urban, I think he went to Criswell College or something, but Urban said, according to Jesus' explanation, he said, let them grow together because it's hard to discern the difference between them. And that is very true. He suggested to wait until they mature enough for harvest. Wow. And then he says, out them, he said to out them at the root for you can say for there you can then see the difference. So by the root of the plant, you can see the difference on, you know, the plant as well. So and sometimes, you know, like I was telling you before, you know, people look so, they look so familiar, they look very common with each other, but there is always the red signs, the red flags that we I would say choose to ignore. I was watching last night on Netflix, um, Jim Jones, and I was watching that, and he started out really good at first. Jim Jones was actually, he came from, I think it came from a Pentecostal background, from my understanding, and he wanted to always be a preacher. You know, he had, I would think at the best at that time, he had the best motives of wanting to do the right thing and tell and share God's word. And something happened in the midst of that. Was that seed already planted in him to go into destruction? Or do you think that that's just kind of where he was led to because of greed and wanting power over people? What do you guys think about that? Because he started out good. He started out with, to me, I thought maybe with the right intentions from looking at the documentary, but he ended up taking another path. Hey, Favor, how are you? So, what do y'all think about that?
This is ties right back into a point that I made. So Jim Jones encountered that pressure at the beginning of his journey. There was easy. You know, he started out, everything is great. Then when you get the pressure of temptation, you get the pressure. See, a lot of people have not encountered pressure yet. And this is what I was saying. So you haven't gotten a chance to see them. Their roots, like Urban was saying, their roots are going to tell them all. So if their roots are healthy, their roots are good morally, they're grounded, et cetera, and they're strong, then when the pressure comes, it's going to reflect that. You'll still see that on the outside. It'll still show that. It'll still produce that. But if at their root, it never was like that, it never really desired that, it never was enough pressure to determine that, then you won't see it. This is why, like, when it was mentioned about harvest time and when things become mature. So when that pressure comes in, that's generally a sign of maturity. We talk about, like, with children, for example. So that represents like a young crop. Children, oh, your kids, don't worry about this. You know, the parents, the guardians, whatever, adults usually take care of it. You just stay being a kid. You don't have to really deal with anything.
Yeah.
As soon as they, quote unquote, hit that level of maturity, some sooner, others later. But when they hit that level of maturity, that's when the pressure comes in. And then you really see who they are. So with Jim Jones, he really started getting that pressure. It's something like Ralo was saying. A lot of people haven't had that level of temptation where, like with the guys, they could just get a woman just like that, you know, multiple, and they got to turn women away. Or same
Right.
like ladies, maybe, I don't know, at one point in time, or some ladies, they didn't have that way with men, you know, where again, she's got to turn guys away. And so those are like temptations or whatever it is. Maybe they didn't have that opportunity to show themselves in the workforce or the field where they start making the money, or they have the success, or you can, quote unquote, have influence. So like with Jim Jones, what happens is that's also another pressure, influence. Oh, look at me, I'm shining, I look good, my crop looks good, look at this, look at the little hairs, look at all of this, everything starts looking good. And at that moment, that's when temptation comes in. That's when pressure comes, when other people tempt you. They start putting stuff in your ear, they try to get you to go one way or the other, they say things, and that's when that maturity is going to kick in or not, or the roots is going to show what you're really made of. So I believe with Jim Jones, his roots really weren't solid in that aspect. I mean, when it comes to people, and especially through Christ and what we understand with scripture, people are supposed to have an opportunity to be able to become that wheat. They're supposed to, they have access to that if they choose to. Now, again, that goes back into that root, though. The problem is a lot of people that may be a tear don't want to take that route. They've known all their life. It's just like somebody who's known, like been incarcerated all their life. You've been in jail for 30 to 60 years. You get out, you're like, hey, I'm out here, but my lifestyle got to be structured around, lack of freedom, so to speak. That's all they know. So it has to be someone that truly desired that freedom. That's rare.
Right.
Anyone that does desire that is really a wheat all along. If that's what they desire. Because again, like you said in the beginning, a lot of the wheats don't look good, for instance, like the tares do. Some of the tares look better than the wheat. You're like, man, this
Right.
this seems better. Let's throw the wheat out because the wheat looks like it sucks, and the tares look like this is edible. This is good. Until you
Right.
get to the nitty gritty. So it takes time, it takes maturity, and that's the only way you can really tell. Discernment, back. I know people say, "Oh, you should know this." You see, girl, you see a man, you should be able to tell. Like you can't always tell.
Some people are really tricky.
What was it Temptation? That Tyler Perry movie Temptation? Was that the one with Brandy in it and
Yes.
with the
That
guy
guy was
classmate?
nuts.
He was like Facebook, like the CEO of Facebook. In the beginning, and he worked on it for a long time. He looked like he was a good guy. You couldn't see anything. The people around him, it all looked good. You had other people that was vouching, quote unquote, for him, at the time. And it seemed like, man, this is a good catch. I should leave my husband. He forgot my birthday. He born. It looked like her husband, he was looking like the tear. He didn't get me anything. He ain't doing this. I know we grew up as childhood soulmates or what have you. It looked like the other guy was the weak. But then you go down that journey. And then once you get down that journey with people, that's when you see. And that's how a lot of us learn about people.
Exactly.
Got to go on that journey to learn. That's the only way sometimes.
Now I want to ask this, if before Ralo speaks. Urban is a guest of my channel, very knowledgeable, very nice man. He would like to come up for a few minutes. Would that be okay with the both of you guys?
2 thumbs up.
Absolutely, thumbs up.
Okay, let me let Urban up. Hopefully he's still in the chat. And this is I'm putting this for Urban to come up.
It's awesome. The brothers and sisters, they got a lot of wisdom. I love it when they break bread and edify you. You never are or should be in a position where you can't learn something from someone. The moment that you think that you can't listen to anyone or learn anything from anyone, I don't care how small or how big it is, to me, that's when you're showing elements of potentially or actually being a tear, because the wheat is constantly absorbing everything, the nutrients, the air, the sunlight, everything that's what makes the wheat so strong and so abundant. And again, that's something you'll see. Look at people who've been through stuff and you'll see that they survived it. And you see that their character is intact. You see that their joy is intact. Their abundance is intact, et cetera, et cetera. Situations that normally would take people out or set them back, et cetera, et cetera. That's another sign that strength will come out and show when they're under adversity. When tares are under adversity, you see them break. You see stuff start to fall apart. Their roots will begin to reveal their true colors. So that's another sign that people can look for if they're questioning, like, okay, is this person a tear? Look at their life. Especially for the ladies, because a lot of ladies get burned. We say men are logical, we got discernment, yada yada yada. But this goes for both. But I'm gonna say for the ladies, if you're interested romantically in a man, pay attention to how he responds to tough situations. Does he show the person with character or the people with character? Is he trying to respond in a way that's going to lead to some type of edification? Does he bring some type of resolution or some type of energy into the situation that's going to bring abundance when it's all said and done? These are some of the things that a lot of women, I'm going to say men as well, you have to look for that because women move the same way. So we got our, here.
Yeah. Ralo, did you want to speak before Urban spoke?
Salute to Urban. I'm going to say this. It's like when you don't look for it, they want to watch everything you do. They looking at your steps like, how can you, like, let's look at the sports, for example. When you get on the court, they looking to have everybody go against you because they want to show their skills. It's like the Detroit Pistons in 2004 against the Lakers. The Lakers had a monstrous team. One thing that the Detroit Pistons had that the Lakers didn't have was chemistry. They put their differences to the side and they showed how fruitful they could be not only defensively, at spurts offensively to stop the Lakers' formidable situation. So just like the Warriors, what was it, against the Celtics? The Celtics had a prominent team. They were supposed to win it all. The Warriors found a way to go through their differences and won the championship. So the Wheats love to win. The Tears only want to win when they see you down. And then when they see you go back up, they're like, wait a minute. We did everything in our power. We try to stop them from getting money or her making money. We try to stop relationships. It didn't work. How these people getting along with each other? We're supposed to stop their shine. We're supposed to stop. They can't stop what's coming.
Thank you, Montgomery 5. I agree. Urban, thank you so much for coming through. And thank you so much, Baldhead Wayne. I appreciate you.
Hey, salute. Thank you. Appreciate you inviting me up, Selena. Ralo, Brainwave, salute. Welcome,
Salute to
gentlemen.
you
Appreciate
too,
y'all.
Urban. I'm looking for you to bless us, brother, with all your wisdom. I'm like a student. I'm pulling up.
Absolutely.
Hey, before I give my perspective, we are talking about for us YouTube concern, or we just talking about in general?
It's just in general.
Okay. Yeah, just like I was saying in the chat, and I was giving y'all my perspective about the wheat and tares. At the end of the day, the only way we're going to be able to know the difference between people is we have to let them rock out for a certain season. Then once when they start revealing themselves about who they really are, then that's where you could pluck them out and uproot them. And that's how the way it is not only on YouTube, but it's in real life as well too.
Exactly.
Now, my personal anecdotal experience dealing with this is dealing with people not only on YouTube but also in real life, where I give people the benefit of the doubt when I'm first meeting them. I be friendly with them, be cordial with them, be nice to them, share wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as well too, just to see where they at.
Right.
The word of God said to test the spirit by the spirit to see if they of God, and that's exactly what I do. I just test their spirit. I don't test their character. I test their actual spirit, how the way they really are. And so when I determined that they actually really are good people, that's when I start connecting with them more, start networking with them even more. But the ones who are not good people, that's when I cut them off right then and there.
Right. And that makes a lot of sense.
Wisdom, y'all. Wisdom. You can tell when someone is seasoned with their wisdom. You can tell when someone is speaking from actually dealing with life experiences. Urban is speaking straight up wisdom from life experiences. And I hope y'all in the chat, whether you listening live on the replay, I don't want to say forget anything we said, but what Urban just said, man, that's all you need. That's going to carry you a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'd made a lot of mistakes, y'all, through my lifetime of overly trusting people because of how the way I am. I got burnt too many times. I went through this lesson over and over again, and to the point where I'm like, man, I am tired of this. Let me learn from my mistakes. That's why I learned. I just started learning to let people rock on how the way they are and to a certain season, because they are always going to reveal who they are eventually, but you just have to be patient and allow it to happen. And that's another thing about the parable too, is that within that harvest takes time. You know what I'm saying? That's a very long time to wait on the harvest. So that's how it is even with people in life. It may take a time. It may take just that moment. It may take a season. Sometimes it'll take a lifetime for you to finally realize how the way that person is.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Wow. God,
I'm gonna
yeah.
add on to what that brother's saying, if you don't mind, Selena.
Go ahead.
Look at the food, right? For example, you know how to cook food to a season. It's a season to your food and how you nourishment.
Mm-hmm.
You could also know a person by the food, the drinks, and how much competition. It's nothing wrong with competition. It's how you go about it. So a wheat doesn't have to force the competition. The tear must force it. If
Okay.
you're a coach, right? If you coach a team and you know who's supposed to be on the court, who's supposed to be off the court. And one of the things I learned as being a coach is that if everybody is disproportionate and not where they need to be, I'm gonna pull them to the side and say, hey, we're gonna get this right. A coach that is a tear is gonna force the children. You gotta keep doing the same thing. Why you ain't doing it? Why you ain't doing it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a time and a place to yell, and it's time and a place to let them figure it out. When you don't force things, you're gonna get the best out of your players. I'm gonna say it again. When you don't force things, you get the best out of your players. But if you keep stamping at them, they're not gonna respect you. That fear and force, oh, you can't do this because you missed 10 shots. I'm cutting you off your minutes. And then when you really need them, they're not performing because you didn't believe in them. Let them figure it out. Once they figure it out, you're going to get the best out of that person. That's even in relationships. You're going to get the best out of that person. Once they figure it out, they're going to thank you. They're going to be like, you was right. Because you force the narrative. But when you put these stipulations, it's not going to work.
I mean, y'all got some wisdom today. Go ahead, Urban.
You know that remind me of us being parents too. Once when our children get up in age, where we have to just allow them to make their own choice and decision. Even though us as parents, we like, I just want to protect them as much as possible. But when you do that right, when you be overprotective, you just like what Ralo said, you're not going to allow them the opportunity to grow and learn from certain choices and mistakes that they make. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes, like I said, I'm not a parent yet, but, we know, especially if you've been through things in life, you want to protect your child from a lot of the different mistakes that you've made. Some of these people are like the same characters. They just recite. It's like people are recycled sometimes. And you can tell a person, hey, don't trust this person. This person did this to me. This person did this to another person. And you're like, why you don't see this? And I think sometimes some people want to just say, well, I will need to learn by myself, but sometimes it is what it is. People are who they are. They're, and regardless of how much we want to make people a good person or how much we want to, give everybody a chance, some people you don't give a chance. Some people, automatically that's a no-go for me, and, it is what it is. And I think sometimes some people have a hard head. They got to learn the way they learn. And then I had an uncle that, to me, I said, why do you trust this person? You see this person is doing this and this and this. And he said, and in his way, he was like, I let people hang themselves. So, when they do hang themselves, they can't get mad when I cut them out. And I think that's how sometimes, we as people, I know I have been like that. Sometimes I will know a person is probably no good for me, or this person may not really like me. But sometimes I say, well, let me see. Let me let this person hang themselves. And once they hang themselves, then I can, with good faith and good conscience, walk away. And then sometimes you don't even have to go that way. Wisdom will tell you some things you just don't go into. You save yourself a lot of trouble when you listen to that discernment. And discernment, like Montgomery was saying earlier, discernment is a power to see something or someone before it becomes obvious. And I think that's true. Is it sometimes our discernment? How can our discernment sometimes be distorted or blurred? Is it because we're not paying attention, or we want to believe the best in people? What is it?
This is a broad topic. It depends on the nature of the relationship when it comes to discernment. Some relationships, you have family, right? These are relationships that you can't just easily walk away from.
Right.
Or you may not, I don't want to say you can't walk away at all, but that's like a last resort. It may be some dynamics to where you have to stay in that situation. You also have some working relationships that it may be because of a cause or because of a project and a venture that it's not, again, it's easy for you to just, even if you see things or you find yourself in a situation, to walk away from. Now, some of the other situations where maybe you just meet someone romantically, you start to find out, you can walk away. You meet someone that potentially could be a friend, you can walk away. Even certain associates, and you don't have anything established, those are easy to walk away. When it comes to discernment with the other ones, it's a challenge because
Yes.
you will begin to see red flags. There's been many situations where I'll see a red flag, but the red flag is like a small flag. It's like as time goes on, the flags may get bigger and bigger. And what that essentially tells me is that this connection in some form of fashion, as the flags get bigger and bigger, is about to come to an end. Or my reason for being a part of this project or being in this dynamic, somehow, some way, the Most High is about to just say, okay, you finally done whatever it is that you needed to do, or you're at this job, you get moved on, promoted, whatever it is. Some people get fired, laid off, what have you. But those are the harder ones in terms of discernment and you really have to stop and think, what is Christ saying to you regarding being a part of those things? Some things you can walk away. He's like, hey, get out of here. You don't need to support this, et cetera, et cetera. But others, he may be telling you, hey, see this to the end, finish this out, whatever it may be. And so that's challenging for us to be in those situations because to outsiders, it looks as if you don't have discernment. An outsider would say, hey, couldn't you see this? Didn't you know this? And you may vocalize, hey, I did see this. I did know this. This cause, though, this family situation, though, this child support situation, whatever it is, there's other dynamics. And so you may be in it for that cause. And when you do it for the right reasons, regardless, obviously God is going to honor that and you'll be restored. Anything you may lose or what have you, he'll take care of you. He'll pull a Job situation or any of the characters in the Bible. It's just a tough situation to walk through that valley. I'm gonna pass the mic on to my wisdom brothers here because I know they have a lot that they can break bread with here.
Right. Anybody can go.
Unless y'all want me to keep going.
I got it. I know the brother is going to drop a lot of gems. It's like this, right? You walk into a situation positive. You can't walk into it unknowingly because when you go into it unknowingly, you will not know what type of person you're dealing with or what type of business you're getting involved in. So just go in with a clean slate. You could tell when the person is genuine, when they don't ask you for anything within the first 3 months. Let me say that again. You could tell when a person is genuine when they don't ask you for anything with the first 3 months. The guys to the woman or the woman to the guys. When you ask for something from somebody you don't know, what you insinuated is that I'm only with you because I know you have it. You don't know if the person have it. Just because they look like they have it doesn't mean they have it. And we get awfully confused with both parties or business partners. Oh well, you look like you have it, so I'm gonna invest. And the whole entire time that person don't even have it. When it's time to see the fruit.
Right.
So you gotta test them by putting certain things in their hand. Just to see if they're gonna do what they're gonna say they're gonna do with it. 9 times out of 10, they're playing games. You don't want nobody. You don't want to be around people playing games. It's time to walk away. Take the loss. You get it back because you know how to win.
Uh-huh.
This is on that.
Okay.
Yep. Y'all gentlemen, are y'all familiar with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder?
All too well. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, y'all know one of the greatest attributes of NPD individuals, right, is that they can chameleon themselves very well to appear to be a weak, but they really are terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
And this raises the question with even with women who deal with NPD, right? Is that we always say to women all the time, why are you with this dude? Why you allow this dude to do the certain thing to you? And every single time they'll go back and say, well, because he wasn't like this in the beginning. And what when they say that, that's very valid because he's not like that in the beginning.
Right.
See what NPD does is that they be so much of a chameleon that they'll give you just the bare minimum just to pull you in emotionally, right? So I thought with the one parable, with the one reading terrorists, right, that terror will just give you the bare minimum. Just to pull you in. Even if you go and uproot them for the root, they still will appear as a weak.
Right.
But you have to like really look at it or discern it and put the two together. Okay, this is a weak, this is a terror. This is a person who's good for me. This is a person who is actually not good for me. Then at that point, when you realize that person is not good for you, then that's when what Jesus said to take them and burn them, get rid of them. But when we talk about this realistically, right, it's hard for you to burn that person because you have a certain attachment to them. And that's what people end up suffering and dealing with. But even though it's hard, it's not impossible at all. You know what I'm saying? Once when you understand who they are, once you understand that there are things better for you, ergo the weak, then eventually you'll let that person go.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you guys this before we go a little bit farther. Now, I was talking about more general things like how do you discern good and bad and what people to deal with, what type of people to deal with. I want to go over to YouTube. Right now, we all have had people on YouTube that we was once cool with and we're no longer cool with. Okay. How do you discern other people on YouTube as far as like working with other content creators or people that want to hit you up behind the scene? I want to switch it up a little bit. What do you guys think about that? Because all three of y'all are content creators, so you guys can relate. We don't have to don't get into specifics about who, but I want to know how you deal with that. Once being cool with people, feeling like people were a certain type of person, just to find out and just to be disappointed that this person is not what they pretended to be.
I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of people on the internet, so the good and the bad. I'm not saying specific. I will say this. You don't know a person until you meet them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people show you what they want to show you. When you meet them, you see the real them. And when when they see that they can't get what they can from you, because it's a business at the end of the day. When you meet up with somebody, even relationships is a business. If you deal with the opposite sex, it's a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will say Don't bring them around the people you deal with for the most part, because they will try to, they want to convey, they want to, people want to know you personally. If you want to know me personally, we could, set things behind the scenes, yet it should not be a forced thing. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because when you rush and rush and rush, where you hiding? Pay attention when people try to force situations that you're not aware of. Like, wait a minute, why are you sending me all of this? Wait, let me look into it before. It's a lot of things that come with it. So I would say take your time. Not everybody's bad, yet it's just you just gotta take the chance and see what it's about.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And don't be in fear. Don't be in fear, because if you're in fear, they got you. That's all.
Yep. Yeah, my mistake as a content creator is that I didn't take the time out to examine the people who I was networking with. And by that, I end up getting caught up into their, as you say, personal beefs, right? That's because I'm just associated with them. And so I had learned my lesson behind that. And that's when I eventually ended up separating myself. That also at the same time I started learning that it's okay to ride on your own and build on your own. Because if you start focusing on your own, eventually the Most High God is going to bring the right people into your life,
Right.
into your platform. And I believe that's another thing too, is that we want to be socially accepted so bad, especially as content creators. We really want to be socially accepted. So we go out to all these other avenues, or as we say, sectors, right? And start jumping into people chat, jumping into these content creators chat, hoping that they could help build us up. But I learned that you don't have to do that at all. The right people is going to come into your life.
Mm. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Brainwaves.
One of the things I'll add is that we have to remember that YouTube or social media is a business, as it's been mentioned.
Right.
And we blur the lines personally with professionally all the time.
Mhm.
Now, we may feel a certain way about how a person conducts themselves, maybe professionally, but you haven't gotten to know them personally. Or it could be vice versa. Some content creators, like I've met some content creators uh, and got to know them personally. And then you find out how, oh, hey, I'm a content creator. Oh, you too, and yada, yada, yada. So then you get to find out how they move professionally. Or you find out, like Brother Urban was mentioning, maybe they're involved in beef. So you see things, how they move. And one of the things is kind of like what Ralo said, we do have to slow down. We have to treat it like a job situation. Generally, what a lot of people do when they want a job, they don't check out the company. They don't check out like what the employee experiences are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They just, hey, this Fortune 500 is hiring. They want me, they paying good. Hey, I need the benefits. I'm going in. So you go into the interview, you don't ask any questions. You're not finding out. You have to really take a look in terms of what it is that you're trying to achieve, what it is that they're trying to achieve, and not be afraid to ask those questions, because those questions apply pressure. Either a
Mhm.
person has genuine character or they don't. Either they're going to be willing to look out for you, so to speak, or not. They have ulterior motives. And so sometimes just asking certain questions and seeing things can reveal a lot on whether you need to take that relationship personally, professionally, or do both. And it's what, especially what Brother Urban said, he said it best. We have to focus on our own lane, stay in our own lane,
Right.
and hopefully a person's rocking out with the Most High. Hopefully they have that. We unfortunately know that's not the case for everyone, but at
Mhm.
the very least, if they're at least trying to stay in their own lane and focus on not messing that up and not getting involved with content creators because they think they can gain something, I think that's
Mhm.
a big mistake. Where, hey, this person's got these subscribers, or this person has this platform. I've made mistakes like that, where
Mhm.
thinking that, hey, I'm about this cause or this venture and this content, and hey, they're about this. I've seen beef from the auto industry, like a lot of people in car clubs and stuff like this. They'll have the same type of car, or a similar car or whatever. So like, oh, you got one, I got one, and they're filming content, but they think because they have the similarity of their car, they hadn't really gotten to know each other. So they just jump right on in, and a lot of beef ensues because they don't realize their audience doesn't get along, their goals don't get along, and there's a whole host of things. So we really have to just focus on our lane. It's like what Brother Irvin said. Really, it's same thing, Ralo. The Most High will send, Christ will send the right people, the right content creators our way. And it's a natural thing. It's authentic. You don't have to force it. It's just like, it's like people force relationships. Hey, I want to be with this man. I want to be with this woman. You know, I want to, I got to work this job. Let's not force it. Let's just let things flow naturally. That's where peace is. That's where Christ is. Wherever peace is, that's how the connections will be. It'll be peaceful. It's natural. And you'll find you don't even have to ask anything. I think Ralo said that. We don't have to ask another content creator, hey, can I get on your platform? It'll just be, hey, it just happens naturally. And those are the authentic connections that people want to see anyway. That's what it matters.
Right. So and Amber said something about people playing what's referred to as long game. What?
Oh, I got that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm assuming you know.
The what is, you see, as a listener, whether you're a mod or you're in the chat, most of these people try to string you along as long as they seem they're getting something out of it. And I mean, at the end of the day, people choose to support when they want to support. What's happening is, when they see other people getting it and they see there's no messiness for the most part, they have an issue with that. You could do real good on YouTube if you're not messy. No, you have to defend yourself, but some of these people love to be messy because that draws the views, but that will destroy you. Why would you want to watch somebody that destroy themselves? You know what I'm saying?
People do it every day.
Out of that. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. That's why a lot of relationships on YouTube is falling, because of fear. If that
like, let me get you before you get me.
Pushing fear.
Yeah.
It's you're dealing with already if you go on a 9 to 5, you're dealing with certain people. You see it on the internet. You see it everywhere. That's some of their long game. Over here, we just having a good time chopping it up, balance things out. That's what YouTube's supposed to be. But there's always another side to the table. It's what you're interested in. What's your longevity?
Exactly.
Do you like watching about Selena? Have a conversation with the content creator and see what they're really about behind the scenes. Get to see what they're about. See how long they are who they say they are. That's what I got to say on that.
Well, sometimes you can get to know people behind the scenes and it start off one way, but somehow some things are either lost in translation or people get in their feelings. It just, and then you got people that's not mature enough to talk to you, but they talk at you doing a live and all this kind of stuff. So it's a lot of things that come with being cool with I'm saying anybody on social media, but especially if you are a content creator and you are engaging with other content creators or other subscribers, you just have to be careful. And I always say, whatever you say, make sure you can repeat it, because when that person get mad or get in their feelings, things will come out. So that's one thing I learned. I'm like, I really feel like what I'm called to do is solo dolo. And those who are supposed to be in my circle or I'm supposed to work with or network with, those people will come, and it will be organically. It won't be forced, and it will fit all together. Not to say that even there won't be any situation with that either, but we will will at least be able to come together and talk about it. Sometimes you can have situations with people, and the things that people are so disrespectful, or the things that they do and say, it goes so far you can't come back from it. There's no talking, there's no reasoning, it's over, it's done. So when you do have people that I feel like, even, like I said, what God will put in your life, you might have some situations sometimes, but you still should be able to come back together and talk about it. But it's not always that way. But I do believe it is best to be solo dolo, like Urban said. You come out a lot better and a less stressful. You'll be in your own lane, and those who choose to rock with you, they will rock with you, and those that won't, they just won't, and that's cool. I can walk away respectfully, but I've learned on this platform that's sometimes not always the case. Cutting Edge had a question.
So real quick before you go to this next question, I want to add on to what you were saying. Through my profession, I learned that whenever I deal with an irate customer, right, I learned to not take it personally. Because at the end of the day, what they're doing is projecting wherever it is that they're going through, they're just projecting it onto you because you just so happen to be there in that moment. We could tie that into content creation too. Well, whenever, like say for example, me, Urban, I would to say something about brainwaves, right, or I were to like critique one of his content that he was doing, it ain't that I'm attacking him personally in that moment. All I'm doing is giving my perspective about that, but not saying that that's what Brainwave does, but I'm just giving an example. But Brainwave, he come back and take it personally, right? Say, oh, he's coming for me. That's what you say. He's coming for me. Since you're coming for me, I'm gonna come back at you. Instead of one attacking the argument or the debate, you come and attack me personally. That's when the cyberbullying start happening. That's where all the doxing start happening. All because, like you stated earlier, lost in translation. Now, to deal with that problem is that it's not only for me, but it's also for Brainwave to understand at the end of the day to not take it personally. You know what I'm saying? This all it is a particular projection. And I believe that if all of us think that same exact way, then it will cut out a lot of the drama. It will cut off a lot of the beefing and everything.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's so true. I want to thank you so much, Urban. When you know there's content creators that run plays and create F-ish that rock with individuals that you're cool with, I think that's what you're saying, and not cool with the F-ish, but are linked with play runners, would you remove your support? So basically, I think Cutting Edge is saying if another content creator that they rock with is rocking with someone that runs plays and is with the F-ish, would you still link up? I mean, would you still support that person, or would you remove your support?
That's a good question.
Is that what you're saying, Cutting Edge?
Yeah, I know what he means. We have been, as a content creator, when we see certain things, we stop supporting certain people, or certain people have stopped supporting us. That does happen. In any business, when you go and deal with another business and it doesn't work out, you're going to lose the support. You can't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you worry about that, that means you don't care about your business. You don't care about the people that is supporting you. The actual people that rock with you will still support you. Of course, they're going to let you know about yourself.
Right.
At the same time, if they still support, that means they see the potential in you. Some people are meant to support you for a season. Some people are meant to support you longevity. You can't worry about support and who support. If I worry about who support who, and I'm not supporting, then why is I'm worrying about? I mean, it's just it don't make no sense. If you're going to support somebody, like Ringo say, you're going to do it from the heart. You're not doing it just to show off. You get what I'm saying? You do it from the heart, and you will get what you sow for doing that. But if you're doing it, because some people love to show off, let's keep it real. Some people love to super chat and cash at you and still talk ish about you. We've seen that many times.
Right.
Content creators, they support you heavy, and they go trash and tell another content creator about you. They'll support you $500,000 and still talk about you. So
crazy.
you just gotta keep doing what you're doing. If you worry about the money or you losing, you're already dead. That's why.
What are the long game symptoms? Anybody want to answer
things. The long game symptoms, well, they all eventually have the same pattern. Sometimes they manifest in different ways because again, it is the long game. So it may at first have like a different face, but then you see the body, it's like the same body, but the faces are different. This is my response to that more so than the symptoms. I like to treat the root of the problem in terms of just putting a band-aid on the symptoms. One thing that helps a lot is as a content creator, again, this is a business at the end of the day. Everyone has some type of goal. I want my channel to be fill in the blank. Everyone is on, their respective platforms to achieve some type of goal. And so with that being said, you have to think of it as the marketplace, as business space. With my business background, with running so many big companies and high level positions and running businesses of my own, you also have to look at the track record of people that associate with certain content creators, because it's just like any business. If you have a successful business, so this is replace business with content creator. If a business is out here and thriving, they've been thriving for a while, obviously they're going to operate within certain guidelines and limitations and parameters to where they're not going to go this far. That's going to cause this type of breakdown, or they are. Like, it's either going to be known or it's not. They're going to have that level of success because they're successful with their connections with individuals around them. You can't achieve success if you burn bridges, if you don't operate with integrity, et cetera, et cetera. Your customers are going to see it. Customers to us is the audience. So everyone that watches us, that supports us, whether they're a content creator or not, they're going to see this. So one of the things you can take a look at is, if you don't know anything about that content creator, look at who they're potentially subscribed to, or listen to who they say they subscribe to. Look at who they feature. Pay attention to how they move, because this is the long game we're talking about. And look at their track record. Are they the type of people that have a track record of relationships falling apart, bad blood, a lot of drama? Is it a track record of things are peace and quiet? Is it a track record of other people perhaps say vouching? You have communities where they vouch for each other, and you see that vouching of other creators is a legitimate vouching, meaning something we say there's receipts to show that, hey, this is a good company, this is a good content creator, et cetera, et cetera. So you really have to pay attention to that. Pay attention to what the audiences are saying. The viewers are they're the customers. So they've interacted sometimes on the personal numbers. They've gotten the awards, they have like giveaways, meetups. They've been at the meetups, et cetera, et cetera. They've had a chance to perhaps connect with content creators where you haven't, or like I like to say in my case, I'm also a life coach. So, there's clients literally globally around that I don't even think about, some that I don't even talk to anymore. They could, quote unquote, either vouch for me in a good way or a bad way. So it's just like a job. Can I call your references? Can a person check your references and see? And that information is very formidable with helping you to determine, as a creator, should you potentially partner with this creator in the long game? Because the short game, we all have our ups and downs. We have bumps in the road. We have some things that maybe I shouldn't have done that. I should have did this. But is it really making an impact on a long term?
Right.
So that's what I would add.
And I will say this, I have supported people that I don't agree with all of their content. I just don't, because we just, we do things differently. But that person hasn't been disrespectful to me. Now, I do watch people how they treat other people, of course. I understand that. But sometimes people be getting mad at you if they say, oh, they see you in somebody's chat that they don't like, and it's just like, well, this person has been respectful to me so far. You know what I'm saying? And I've been on the end to where, hey, who they were, they really are, and they turned on me. So I feel like you live and you learn, and some things you can learn by looking at other people's experience, and some things you can't just be all the way no, on some people, because like I said, they haven't been disrespectful to you, you know. But I do understand that sometimes you have to go by what other people have been through with the person too, another content creator. So um yeah, it's kind of a sticky situation sometimes dealing with certain content creators. Um to be honest with you. So I think that for me at this point, how I am moving differently. I'm not going to go into everything that I'm going to be doing, but I definitely will be watching who I support, and how I move on, like going in different people's platforms and hitting panels. I mean, you just have to be careful. I think with the trouble that I got into, because I wanted to think that everybody just wanted to have a good time and just go in people's platform, just be talking and to people behind the scenes, and not paying attention on who you're talking to. And then sometimes when you think you're paying attention, you miss some valuable information, some red flags, and you just like, how did I miss this again? How? You know, so I really want to talk about discernment, because I think that a lot of people talk about it, but they either not practicing it, or they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. And like I said, even when you think you are discerning, you still miss some things.
Mm-hmm.
You will still miss some things. So
Hey, hey,
yeah,
want to ask on brainwaves a question real quick. Do you mentioned about your business, correct?
Correct.
Do 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 all your business have what is known as a mission statement?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm gonna ask you this question, but I'm asking everybody on the panel as well too. Do y'all believe that it's beneficial for us as content creators to have a mission statement for our respective channels?
I absolutely do. 100%. Because with all the turns that you may go into, you're going to lose sight of why you did why you started. And that's how a lot of even big channels, they lost sight of that. And that's where the misery comes in, where even if they're successful, you remember the phase. I know y'all remember the phase where a lot of content, big channels, they were like, quit. It's like, I'm quitting YouTube. I'm tired. And
Mm-hmm.
it's because they lost their original mission statement. They lost the essence of that, and they let other partners or what have you get involved with their channel and adopt their mission statement to hit a level of success, but then they miss what they really started on YouTube or whatever platform for. So yes, you have to, even if you have to tweak your mission state, like you have the fundamental there. Maybe some
Yeah.
people might need to tweak it, but I'm a strong believer in coming back to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
absolutely. I have my mission statement posted on my description of my channel, and I do that intentionally so it could remind me of every single day of, just like we saying, Braidway, so I know the whole point of why I'm doing this. And also, it sets a standard for me as well too, to how to run my channel. Because one thing that I have noticed is that some content creators don't have a standard of how the way they run their channel. They just let their channel just be like the wild wild west, let anything go. But you
right.
have to have some type of standard there, and you as the content creator, you have to enforce it, regardless if you lose subscribers or not. You got to enforce it.
And that's true, because you know, I said that I was going to start, I had no idea that somebody was telling me somebody was using people's children's names in my chat. And with me not knowing that at the time, I was like, wait a minute, what? So I had to kind of do some thinking. I'm like, okay, I got to start speaking up. If even though I didn't see it at the time, but when I do find out about these things, make it very clear we're not doing it. Like I said at the very beginning, I wanted to set a standard. We're not talking about this or this type, these people or that person. We are talking generally about wheat and tares and how to discern. So that's what I wanted to make clear, because and we're not going to be trolling people's names. We're not doing that. If you want to troll under your name or troll under another name, but not somebody else's name. And I wanted to make sure that I set the standard for my platform. And I think every content creator needs to do that. We're not threatening anybody on my panel. We're not doing it. You can't come on my panel and threaten my guests, or threaten people in the chat. So I'm learning. You have to speak up and set standards for your own. And if people get mad about it, hell, they just get mad. They weren't supposed to be here anyway. So that's just how I see it. TP asked the question, why do some content creators feel the need to group individuals together or try to get others to go against supporters? Does anybody want to answer?
I'll talk about that. The people that do that doesn't create content. When you create content, you ain't got to worry about who's going against you and what they're talking about on other panels, for the most part. Yeah, we see it. At the same time, it's like, okay, what happens is, right, they'll come here, they'll go over there, they all, when you are a viewer, it's like different channels. You have your educational channels, you have your sports channels, you have your learning channels, you have channels breaking down stuff, you have reaction channels. It's different. What is your taste? You're here for a reason. So as a viewer, you can't get yourself concerned about what other people are doing, because you're here to learn something. We here to learn something from each other and those in the chat. The chat is what make things go around. If it wasn't for you, you are the biggest supporter by being in here. Without you, our TV gets shut off.
Right.
You have to teach that as well. You said that, Selena. It goes back like to our mission statement. So whatever you are trying to achieve, like if you don't want to be distracted by the noise or what have you, then you have to remind your viewers. I do that a lot of times with mine. I tell people, hey, this is what it is. This is what we're going to talk about. If you do address the situation, I try to generally do it from a learning experience for all parties involved. But we have to reinforce that, because you'll get a round, say, you never know, you get a round of a ton of new subscribers, new viewers, or what have you. And they're not aware of your mission statement. They don't know. They're new to you. So they're excited. Ooh, look at this. Look at Selena. Look at Urban. Look at Ralo, what have you. And they're all excited. Wow, this content, this video. Wow. They get into the excitement of everything. And it can become a distraction. So we have to just remind them, people don't mean harm. A lot of times what I found is that people generally, for the most part, don't mean harm. It's just that they don't know how things are. And every so often, we just have to remind people. You don't have to do it like all the time, but just, okay, it's almost like it's like a classroom. Here we go. Here's my education background. It's just like being in the classroom. Every so often, you teach children, they know what to do. Same thing with my coaching experience. They know what to do, but you have to reinforce and remind them. That's what excellent coaches does. That's what Christ did. When you read the scripture, there's certain scriptures that you can see essentially the same message being repeated over and over again as you go throughout the Bible. And that's because he was teaching us that lesson, reminding us, okay, you got this far, but now that you're at this point, here's just a little reminder so that it'll take you to the next step. So those are just little things. And also, as content creators, we have to even remind our fellow content creators, those that we do talk to. If your circle's small, iron sharpens iron. So we talk to each other just like anything. If you're working out with someone, he's your workout buddy or buddies. You have them to hold you accountable. It could be family members. You're trusted, godly counsel is what it's referred to, biblically speaking. These are the people that's in the inner court. You can trust them. Either you've been through adversity, like Proverbs says. So, you have a brother born or a sister in your case, Selena, these are people like, okay, whatever they say, even if I don't like it, there's some wisdom there. So it's something I can sit back and listen to or consider. Or maybe Urban's seeing something that I'm not seeing. Maybe Selena has picked up on something. Let me just consider it because this is a trustworthy source. And, and you move accordingly, and you're not going to get steered wrong because, again, it's trustworthy information. So, that we have to have each other. And I think that's what has happened. This is a community first and foremost. It's just like your neighborhood, right? You live in your neighborhood. I know everybody's busy going, everybody's whatever, they crazy. I don't talk to him or her. But at the end of the day, especially if you have break-ins, if you have something going on, storms, whatever, you're still neighbors. You're still in the community together. So you have a common interest, a vested goal of saying, hey, we all want to succeed. We want our property. We want our house, have a short, have a long, we're here. Same thing on YouTube. It's supposed to be a community, but we've let the tares jump in the community. Like Ralo was saying earlier, there's too many tares here. A lot of people thought that they can get up on this platform and they think it's easy, or they think, hey, I got a camera, I can do this, or whatever it is. And so it is.
It ain't easy.
Yeah, it's not. So we're going through a purge of sorts where we're in a harvest season right now. So we're having a lot of things come up to the surface. Viewers are watching this. It could be confusing for others that don't talk about this. That's why this show is so great, that people hopefully can see it and move accordingly. We just have to hang in because, again, we're being harvested right now. And once we get placed into either the fire, hopefully not, or we're placed into the barn, wherever we end up, then we'll know what's what and we'll be able to move accordingly. It's seasons. Stocks go up and down. Money goes up and down. Life goes up and down. We all go through trial and tribulation. So those of us that are meant to be here will weather the storm. We'll be here. But those that aren't, they're going to get weeded out. And that's what's happening right now.
Hey, I want to real quick share my experience with y'all earlier today. I did a show earlier today, right? I had noticed that my moderator was starting to get into it with one of the subscribers, right? And so right there at the middle of my show, I was looking at it, right? I was looking at the chat happening in real time. And so I stopped and told my moderator, like, hey, you're not going to do this, okay? We're not going to do this. And so she tried to push back on me. My own moderator tried to push back on me, but she didn't know that I already knew that she was already low-key beefing with this subscriber. On her own channel. She put out like little content, so like little shorts or whatever stuff, right? But she was sitting up here beefing with this other subscriber and she didn't think I knew, but I knew. And so I knew that she was doing low-key shots at that subscriber. So I dealt with it right then and there. I told her, like, look, we're not gonna do this. This is gonna be my only time I'm gonna tell you this. You do it again, I'm gonna unmile you. Right after I told her that, went back and started doing the show and stuff, right? She came back and messaged me, apologized, say, hey, I am so sorry, Urban. I didn't mean it to happen this way or whatever. I like it's okay, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Just like with Brainwaves, and everybody else say, earn sharp as earn. You got to let them know, even your moderators, you have to let them know what your standards is, what's your mission statement. So they could be on one accord with that too, because they could throw you out for that too.
Oh yeah. That's true. That is true. You right, man. You know what? I had moderators and no more moderators. Yeah, moderators could be very, not all. Let me say that because I know I gotta say that. Not all moderators is bad. Yeah, they do. They could be trolls too sometimes. They could definitely be trolls, man. And you have to let them know you're here to moderate. You can speak your mind. Let's stay on topic. If I'm not talking about certain things and you talking about it, let me know behind the scenes, and then we could discuss it. Don't tell me about it. And if it's not the subject of matter, I like how Selena, nipping in the bud, brainwaves nipping in the bud. You, brother, nipping in the bud. That's how you're supposed to do it. And if they can't respect that, then they gotta go.
Yeah, because at first, when I first came on here, and thank you all for those who send me super chats. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Melly, for coming through. Let's see who else came in. TP. And thank you, EJ. Screenshot. Thank you for coming through. I hope I spoke to everyone that came through just a minute ago. But yeah, I used to be very like I felt like I was walking on eggshells because I didn't want people to get mad and unsubscribe. But then I get to a point now, I'm like, oh, forget all that. Do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, people are going to be people. They're going to be fickle. They're going to rock with you 1 month. They're not going to rock with you the next because they mad about what you didn't do or did do. So I just learned, if you don't like it, hey, get to going. Get to walking. I mean,
Smart. Get to stepping.
I mean,
Crazy
as far as say get to stepping. I mean, I can't please everybody, and I'm not going to try that because I see where that gets you. That gets you in more situations than you plan on being in because you're trying to please people and you're trying to show people that you're genuine, that you're real. I'm not doing that no more. If you don't accept me for who I am, flaws and all, then we not for each other. Period. Male or female, we not for each other. And I'm not going to beg people. I'm not doing that no more. They're going to like what they like and they're going to dislike what they're going to dislike. And I've always been a person, I might not agree with some of my friends or family about how they do things, but I respect them and the love is still going to be there because of our relationship, the rapport that we have with each other. But people on here, I don't have that rapport with. You know what I'm saying? Some people I do. And I hold their relationships, close to me enough where I respect their opinion and things of that nature. But at the same time, that's not going to dictate to me how I move on my own stuff. And if you don't like it, I am so sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive to people, but at the same time, I cannot please everybody, and I'm not going to try. I'm just not going to do that anymore. And you'll find out who is for you and who is not when you have that type of attitude. Only when you try to appease people, they're good with you for the time being. But when you don't, that's when you find out if they really for you or if they're not. And that's when my discernment kicks in, when I see, oh, okay, so you didn't like that, or you didn't like when I didn't come in this chat this time, or you didn't like when I kind of just, didn't say anything. Oh, okay, I got you. All right, got you. And so I move accordingly on that. And at this point in my life, I'm not apologizing anymore to people unless it is something that I really know that I made a mistake on. Other than that, you can kiss, and I mean that with my whole heart. I've just met too many people on here that want so much loyalty, but they can't give it themselves. I don't understand it. So you can't ask me for nothing unless you're giving it. Until you give it, then you might get it. But other than that, I'm not doing it. These folks is crazy. They think you owe them something. I don't owe you anything. So, I be feeling a way about some of these folks when they be doing stuff. And I'm like, loyalty is too much to ask for people you don't know. And I keep saying that.
Yep. Yeah, it's just like what Brian West was saying, that at the end of the day, it's a business. But what's interesting about that is that people don't see it as a business. They just see it as people that's coming up here and turning on the camera and talking. And so if you think about it in a concept of being a business, you know that in a business where it is always transactional, it's always giving and taking. You're always buying, selling, and trading amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? But you also got to understand people don't have that mentality. They don't have that business prowess to understand that concept. And that goes back to the original topic about the wheats and the turtles. There are people who try to pretend that they're business minded, but in reality, they're not. They're absolutely not. And so you have to discern the difference between them and cut them off and keep it moving.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
Thank you, Mindful.
this thing with Instagram. I know it's off subject. Man, people be messing. Why you ain't give my message? Why you like relax yourself? That's even on the internet. Why you ain't come on today? Where you at? Just be patient. Like,
Yeah, people were patient.
you ever had that? You start a show, everybody like, you took too long. You took too long. I'm like, bro, I'm
Hey,
like you.
hey, bro, man, say people message me on Instagram all the time, bro. I never check my IG until they tell me about it. Matter of fact, Selena, she sent me IG stuff like, Irvin, did you
Yeah.
check your IG? I'm barely on there. It ain't
I
not the
said,
first. I just barely check it.
I said,
I don't care if a woman hit me up, man, and business wise, or we talking about certain things. But yeah, it's just the guys. Most of the guys, man. Listen. When y'all say, "Hey, we got a video for you," Pete, just let us know what it is, the time stamps and all this. I know you're trying to help them. It's just too much.
right. I'm not doing none of that.
Sometimes people just be saying things just to get attention, man.
I tell you, they be doing too much.
Yeah.
Hey, Shirley. I didn't speak to Shirley when she came in. Thank you so much, Mindful. Mindful said most people who encourage nonsense don't bring any substance or true value to anything. Often just misery, seeking company. Unfortunately, ain't that the truth? Hey Scorpio, what's good? So yeah, I this has been a really great live. I hope people got something from it. Like I said, I try to talk about things that I think, that um well, I like to talk about. I'll just say that, some people might not care too much about it, but I thought it was very interesting how parables are actually what we deal with in real life. So it just like parallels to me on a lot of different things. And so many times we deal with people that seem like, you know, and we even sometimes have to look at ourselves to see if we are a pretender, if we are fake, or if we are the tear. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was like a lot of self-reflection that we have to look at as well, because sometimes it's not always other people, sometimes it's us, you know. And but I thought it was something that will. Thank you, TP. Thought it was something that was pretty interesting. Hey, Meek, what's good? Hey, Black Mac, how are you? Thank you for coming through. So, guys, any last words before I retire? I've been on 2 lives so far, so I'm a little tired. I'm ready to kind of de-stress. So, anybody else have? Well, I'm gonna go to Ralo, then Brainwaves, and then Mr. Urban. So, Ralo, what's you have any last words for us?
This was a good show. It was a blast to be on air with y'all again. Looking forward to futuristics of the content. It's getting better and better. All praises to the Most High, to the mods, to the chat, to everybody tune in. Make sure you like the video, share the video, and support when you can. And I'm gonna say my terminology. Oh yeah!
Okay. Look, I'm gonna have to have y'all come back. We're gonna have to talk about the witchcraft and stuff like that, because we was talking about how people be doing witchcraft, and they be on the spiritual side. I mean, not on the spiritual side, but they're either Christianity, and they so I want to talk a little bit about that. They may be on our next live when y'all are available. But go ahead, Brainwaves.
I just want to say the same here. Some of you here in the chat, I just got finished cooking is the word. That's the terminology that you use. A particular book that I'm working on right now.
Oh, okay.
Video book. You have to go to my channel to find out what that is. But
I gotta look at the replay.
Definitely. I'm a little tired. It's been a long week, but this has been a blessing to be here. It's a moment that I would not miss for anything. I've learned so much from the brothers on here. I know I chop it up with Ralo all the time behind the scenes, but Urban, I've been like humbled and blessed by your wisdom. And I definitely subscribe to your platform. As soon as one of the moderators put it in the chat, I was like, oh, good. I don't have to go back and do it. Click, boom, and I'm going to be listening to what you have to say. I'm a student. I know people like, oh, you're whatever, all of that y'all say. I'm a student. I love learning. And I appreciate all the wisdom that was shared. Selena, you got some wisdom too now. You know, y'all don't sleep on
I know.
She speaks a lot of wisdom and a lot of good points. And if it wasn't for her, this show wouldn't be in existence. This was her idea and her vision. So I'm just humble and thankful for being a part of it. Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for not jumping on me for coming in late or fashionably late.
No.
And I just look forward to any opportunities going forward. And thank y'all for the tough questions.
Thank you guys.
Chat. Those are excellent questions. So I appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much.
Hey, we all been working her. I've been working today too, and I had my show earlier. Then I went on to another panel, and we was talking about some religious stuff on this panel I was on. They came over here to Selena as well too. My wife, Mrs. Urban, she had to get me off on one panel so I could just go and eat. so I was messing with her when I was on the panel. I'm like, hey, I got to be obedient to my wife and go ahead and go eat. So deuces. Right after I finished eating, that's why I see Selena live. Let me go pull up at Selena house.
Thank you, Irvin. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a blessing for real. I was a blessing pulling up in on Selena house. It's a blessing meeting you two gentlemen as well too. Brainwaves. I actually know about your channel because the first time when Selena interviewed you, I had watched that show. And right then and there, I went over to your channel and I was checking out your content and stuff too. So the times when you do be live, I do be over there. I just be in the bushes just listening. But I can, I can start coming out the bushes and start engaging and stuff too, brother. I just need on Ralo channel too because I don't know his channel name.
Did y'all put? I think they put Ralo's channel in there as well. Y'all make sure y'all put Ralo's channel as well as Urban.
Commander Alpha Turkey put it in the chat.
Oh, Commander did? Okay,
yes,
I see. Okay. I see Ralo's.
All right, appreciate it.
So,
but yeah. I'm just the same exact way. I'm a student. That's how the way we get knowledge and wisdom and understanding, and we also what they say, earn sharpens earn. You know, that's the reason why I'm the way that I am right now, because I learned so much from brothers and sisters that help edify me, to help humble me, and whenever I'm out of pocket, I have good people in my circle. They'll tell me straight up that, hey, you're out of pocket, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do to fix this. Thank you, appreciate it. So
we appreciate.
But yeah, it's a blessing. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Urban. Like I said, it was supposed to be a 2-man show, but we got 3. So I'm always blessed to have be in good company. So thank you so much for joining me. I would like to first of all thank some of my mods are content creators, but I would like to thank all of my mods for helping me out. You know, I can't see everything. Sometimes I'm doing a lot at one time. So I thank you, mods, for showing your support and help with the things that I can and cannot see. As well as my subscribers that came in to either press the like button and to just give me a view. I appreciate that as well. I definitely appreciate, like I said, again, my men up here. Thank you so much for being a blessing and, you know, supporting me. I appreciate you guys as much. So I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. Because you just didn't have to come and take time. You have wives and children and things going on. So I appreciate you so much. And yeah, I just had this is a really great live, and you guys check out the interview that I did with the word. I had a really great time with the word. So you guys check out that when you have some time, some extra time. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. I really do. And I appreciate all you guys. I really do. And when I say I love you to Reese's Pieces, I'm really saying I appreciate you, like sincerely appreciate you for coming through and showing me some love and some support. So, that's my little saying, love you to Reese's Pieces. So I'm not trying to love bomb you. I'm just saying I appreciate you so much. Guys, y'all be blessed. I am about to be out. Like I said, I'm ready to go eat. I've been wanting to eat for a minute and I haven't got anything to eat. So I'm definitely finna go and give me something to eat, But you guys, thank you. And guys, check me out on Monday. I'm having Selena's Couch. Urban, you are more than happy to come up. Any one of you guys are more than welcome to come up. And if you don't know what Selena's Couch is, let me introduce it to you right now. It is a platform where I let people come up. They can talk about anything they want to talk about. You said, can you make a point? Let me, guys, will y'all drop down first? First, before I let you up, Riz, because I have no idea what you want. But before I get off, Selena's Couch is a live where I allow anybody to come up. We can talk about anything, talk about what they've been going through or whatever they want to talk about. We could talk about what's going on in the news, whatever. So I kind of make that an open panel, but it's like, I try to do one at a time individually. Sometimes I let more than one person come up and we can, just random conversations. So that's what Selena's Couch is about. So you guys are more than welcome.
Hey, I'm gonna come on the couch and lay on the couch. Toxic as hell. Watch.
Oh,
I'm gonna think of some toxic stuff to talk about.
I just hope they have the abbreviation to the brother that came on the last time. I was just having a fun.
Yeah.
I was having fun. In all seriousness, make sure your abbreviation is on point.
Yeah, that's right.
It was lost in translation, huh?
Thank you, Mel. Riz, I'm gonna let you up, but don't be disrespectful, okay? You've been waiting on this live. Do not be disrespectful, because I will drop you. Love you to Reese's Pieces. I appreciate you, but I will drop you. So don't come in here with no nonsense. Be respectful. There's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion, but you're gonna have to be respectful, okay? Are you guys okay with Riz coming up?
I'm ready for anything. Yeah, I'm built for this. So whatever it is, good or bad, I'm game.
Yep. We content creators. This is what we do.
Okay, don't mess the live up, homeboy. Because and I'm gonna have to, like I said, you're gonna have to show me your
You have the thing where you don't show us, like on StreamYard, you could cover it with the photo, the full photo. See what this person is.
Mm-hmm. Don't you start nothing. It won't be nothing. I put the link in the chat. Okay. So, that's Blizzy. Okay.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hi, Blizzy. What's good?
Salute to the guests. Salute to the brothers on the panel. How y'all doing?
We good, man.
Doing great,
good, brother.
man.
Good to hear from you, Selena. The only thing I wanted to say, if I'm able to ask, is that what do you guys think about what happened with Fannie Willis? Because there's a video out where she lied on oath because she tried to put Trump into the fire in a YSL case, but she's literally picking up her daughter with the same dude that she's supposedly not supposed to be with. What do you guys feel about that?
I can't give you no perspective on it because I haven't been keeping up with it.
Me either.
Okay, so can I give you some context? So Fannie Willis is a Georgia DA, correct, Selena?
Yes.
She's a black woman. She is the one that says I'm cleaning up the streets for Atlanta, and she tried to put Trump in a disposal and said, "Hey Trump, I'm going to give you and Young Thug, I'm going to give you all these cases." She was on her oath and said she had allegedly made her acquaintance, which is another attorney, as a DA, and gave him $700,000 to prosecute Trump. So since they caught wind of it, they said, "Well, have you guys had a collusion in the case?" She says, "No, we're not with each other." There's a video that's out last week. Her daughter got caught in a traffic stop, and she's with the same lawyer that she's with. So what I'm getting at is that is Fannie Willis, or do women of power, that black women like a DA, deserve to be in power like a Kamala Harris if they're doing things like that in front of your face? If I'm anybody in Georgia, I would be looking at who is my DA, because she's literally in collusion, and she lied on her oath.
I can respond to this since I'm actually a Georgia native and I've actually interacted with Fannie. When I used to work for the Superior Probate Courts in the state of Georgia, that's one of the things I used to do. I met all these judges, attorneys, you name it. This is what I want to say about that. The issue's not Fannie. The issue is the corruption in the entire system, because there's men and women, white, black, green, purple, and yellow, that's all tied into the corruption. And what we're looking at is we're seeing a little bit of it leak out here, a little bit leak out there. There's a whole system. I know I've been a part of a lot of these systems that people are watching from the audience. I literally have been associated with those systems. So this is one of the reasons why I'm on YouTube now. And one of the reasons why I go so hard in the paint in certain areas where people think I'm crazy, or they think something's wrong with me. I'm like, no, someone has to set a standard. The problem is we're dealing with the powers that be and the tugging of war of the whole structure of power. And again, it goes back into this wheats and tares. You've got a lot of tares that are in charge of things, and they're tugging on the wheats. And this system has been duplicated. It's been taught. And you have so many people, hey, you can do this. Hey, you can do that. So it's a tough situation. And then two, also, as a black woman, it's already hard enough for her to even get into a position of power anywhere. On YouTube, out in the streets. I don't care if you're out in the streets, if you're out in corporate, it's a struggle. And so there's a level of, when it comes to relationships, I'll just talk about this real quick. It's very hard if you don't have that quote unquote ride or die from the beginning. Then when you get into relationships, oftentimes they're dating someone that they're in their line of work with. This in their close
But
circle.
let me put back on that. Hold on, brother. Like I'm working I see black surgeons. I see black women who are surgeons, black women who are nurses. You're sending another black man to jail for the rest of his life. We don't want to hear that. Oh well, you just made a mistake, because if you made a mistake this time, how many other black men have you locked up? You can't have the same exact. You can't give her a pass for that, but then say Trump don't have no pass, because she literally is colluding and she lied under oath. I don't care if you're white, black, Puerto Rican, or Asian. She lied under oath. If anybody else did that, we would be Where is Black Lives Matter at?
Because Black Lives Matter is a part of the
They're
problem.
gone.
They're
They
part of the
came
problem.
and they went. Who's the leader of Black Lives Matter?
Somebody white is actually in charge.
But who is
Here's
Fannie Willis? Who is Fannie Willis?
So
Y'all don't know
let me
Fannie Willis
explain
like
this.
that.
If you remove Fannie Willis, it's going to be somebody else in her place.
But
This is
the
what I'm
point
trying to
is that
explain
she's
to
a
you.
DA. How many other people has she locked up before that? You
In the
giving her a
same.
pass and saying maybe she made a mistake. Well,
No, I
Trump
never
made a
said
mistake,
that. Did I ever utter those words, sir? You never heard me say I'm
but
giving
you're
her a
making an
pass.
excuse for her.
No, you never let me
She's
finish
in
my
collusion.
statement.
She lied under oath. She should be in jail.
But did you let me finish my statement?
Go ahead, brother. My bad.
So that's my part. See, this is what I'm talking about. You cut me off before I could even make my statement, and you're trying to make a statement saying that I said something that I didn't even say. And this is how internet beef gets started. This is how issues get
No,
started.
that's
I
not a
never
beef.
said I'm giving.
We're just having a dialogue.
Yeah, but I'm just making a point. I'm making a point. This is how people in the audience listening will run with it. I understand what you're saying, brother. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that the people in the audience, they're not always with it. Like Brother Urban mentioned earlier, they don't understand that this is business. So they're going to hear, oh, Brainwave said this. He's supporting Fannie. He's supporting Kamala. I was trying to make a point that the issue is not even isolated to them, because all of to be honest with you, all of them got dirt on their name. All of them, white, black, green, blue, man, woman. It ain't a politician alive at that level, or somebody. I've got doctors and surgeons in my family. I have attorneys that have huge practices that run the whole states. Like, I have all of these people. I literally have family members. This is not just friends and people I know. I literally have blood in so many practices. It's ridiculous. And so what I'm saying is that the issue is the corruption, because if we remove Fannie, somebody else will come into the place. Then you have another either white woman, black woman, green woman, blue woman. And if she's white and she's locking up black folks, that don't make it right. If she's black and she's locking up black folks, that don't make it right. No one's giving a pass to like what Kamala's done. No one's giving a pass to Trump has done stuff. Kamala's done stuff. They all have done stuff. All of these folks are involved in the system. I'm in law enforcement. You don't think I see stuff that goes on? There's so much stuff that I see that goes on that's ridiculous. And the problem is, I was actually on a case that brought down some high-ranking lieutenants, high-ranking people, chiefs of police. I was a part of trials to bring them down. I was actually the foreman. It made the news. It was big news. And so we have to get involved individually to stand up and do what's right. It's not going to happen.
No, but can I ask you a question, law enforcement officer? Can I ask you a question? And you said like a lot of great points. Brother, do you have anything to add on it? Brother down there in the red, before I say anything, because you might have something to say.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cook.
Celine, do you have something to say?
No.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just being respectful on the panel. So you make a lot of points, but at the same time, brother, it starts with community. She lied to y'all. And that's why I want her to be held accountable. She says she's cleaning the streets of Georgia to make the YSL case. Now her skeleton's coming out of the closet. So now you make people don't want to confide in law enforcement because she's the DA and she says, I'm cleaning up the streets. But I'm also, along the way, gonna mess with these people and mess with these other people and lie on a stand. The judicial system is messed up, bro, on each side. So I can't believe in a person that says, hey, I'm gonna lie to you, but I'm gonna clean the streets. You're not cleaning those streets. It starts with community. It starts with the people. If you're a white or a black person that's in your city, I don't care where you're at, go to your local municipality and look at these people that you govern and put into power. She got into power because of COVID. She wouldn't have made it in another city. It was Georgia that she made it. She would not have been a DA in another city. Am I correct or am I lying?
Well, I don't know about as far as in another city, but again, this is what I'm saying. The problem is not on an individual basis, it's collective. We have people on the bottom end that don't get involved. There's so many people that don't get involved with politics. I see it all the time on a local level, like you said. I watch people that I can't answer this right now. I had a call that was trying to come through. I have people that I watch people don't get involved on a local level in terms of the small elections, the small officials, and they only care about the president. They only come out with the big things. So that's one end that creates the problem. And this is a national thing. So, I don't care. I talk to people. People think they don't want to vote. They put I'm an Israelite. I don't care. I don't want to get involved with it.
Same thing happened in Chicago, brother. They talking about Venezuelans. I think I heard somebody say Venezuela. It ain't the Venezuelans. The Venezuelans wasn't shooting black people up the whole from the 1980s all the way to 2004. We shoot each other up every day. Now we're trying to blame it on the Venezuelans. Hey, nobody came through Mexico to shoot black people up. We shoot each other up. Stop making excuses for us. I'm not saying you are. I'm talking about black people. Stop making excuses for us. We'll shoot each other every day, but it won't be like the Venezuelans taking over Aurora. Okay, well, we took over our own blocks and don't do nothing to help each other. That's what white people and the Mexican people are over us because they're doing something for their families to make sure that they coming from a third world country and they driving the best cars. We shooting each other. We ganging all the time. And now we talking about the Venezuelans. Let's talk about the crack epidemic. Let's talk about the black people that shooting each other. Let's talk about the gang going on. Nobody want to say that though.
You know what it
Right.
is? It goes back to what Selena titled this whole show, the wheats and the tares. And right now in this world, we have far more tares than we do wheat. There are so many on every space, from what you talked about in the local community, social media, the government. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the manifestation of all these tares that have allowed society to become what it is. And so what we're doing is, one by one, we're trying to hold people accountable. We're bringing awareness. We're talking about these things, and we're hoping to encourage individuals on all fronts, whatever position they're in, to get involved with these things so that we don't have these issues going forward. Problem is, you can lead people to the water, but you can't force them to drink. So we're
Facts.
out here doing what we can, but just because, say, you take responsibility, I take responsibility, Selena, doesn't mean that the majority wants to do that. And so these are why we have these issues. And even while we're here on this panel now talking about it, this is a systematic, corrupt, worldwide, satanic words I don't even want to use right now, that I've seen stuff with my own eyes. Like I said, I've been around billionaires one-on-one,
Oh, me
private with
too.
billionaires, and I've sat with all walks of, so anybody pretty much in a walk of life that you can think of. I've basically either been in a room with them or sat down with them. So I've seen how
You
this
went to a
stuff
Diddy
plays
party?
out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You
sorry,
went
Hey,
to a
Mr.
Diddy
Lance.
party?
What?
I'm
hey,
just trying to make people smile. I'm just,
hey,
brother, you hit
hey,
Okay.
me.
Blizz. Hey,
Urban.
Blizz.
Okay.
Good.
Uh, let me ask you this question. What community involvement are you with right now
I'm a
to
part
help
of
with the situation?
three. I'm that's a good question. I'm part of three community involvement sessions where I stay in Southern California. Uh, I support kids from different cultures. That sounds like I got an echo. But anyway, I support kids from different cultures. Like I'm all about people going to the military. I'm all about people. Like everything I do in my life. Like I work. I don't want to tell my job placement, but I make a really big impact in my community. If that's a good.
You,
Put your mic on mute, Martin.
Yeah, because it
yeah,
sounds like I'm
yeah, cause
echoing.
yeah, cause currently the work that I do in my community is that I'm also involved with sort of political um, House of Representatives in my community. I know a couple of them that I'm involved with, where we give out charity, we go out
Yes,
and
sir.
do
If you
events
know,
that help out.
not to interrupt you, brother. I'm sorry, but if you know T.J. Jackson, like there's one person that I'm with in North Carolina. He's a part of the uh, he's part of the group that I'm with as part of the Republican Party. So like I
Hmm.
know my stuff. I'm not talking like out of out of reach.
Yeah,
Uh,
busy. I said Biz. Lizzie, you're gonna have to let him finish asking what he was asking. Go ahead, Urban.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said, the whole point that I'm making is that
Mhm.
in order for us to defeat systematic, whatever you want to call it, systematic oppression, whatever you want to call it, we can't do it at a mass scale. We have to do little as possible. And this still go back to the content that we're talking about right now about the wheats and the tares. In order for you to do it, you got to let things happen the way it need to happen, but you do your part and rectifying the situation. Like it's okay for us to have these conversations. It's fine where we can edify each other and know where we stand. But at the end of the day, it takes for us to go out and do the work in our said communities.
I
Mhm.
totally agree with that, brother. Like what you just said and what the other brother said, like that's spot on. If we don't do it, who else gonna do it?
Right.
Yeah,
Hey,
facts.
Hey, Martin. Do you have anything to say? How are you?
Oh, how are you?
Just fine. Did you have
Yeah,
anything
peace
you
and
wanted to
blessings.
add?
Yeah, peace and blessings to everybody. Brainwaves, Ralo, and yeah, peace and blessings. So I just asked you something,
Mm-hmm.
like questions. So I just saw well Rango was in trying to expose New Breed, and I just saw it in the platform. Do you know Broken Matrix?
We're not kind of talking about that particular issue, but does it have something that kind of does it correlate with the wheat and the tares? Is that what you're?
Yeah, I just saying like if I just see it in the New Breeds panel, and I just see him in the short video, and I just see and I just went to the Brainwaves channel, and
Mm-hmm.
I see this. I just see the New Breed just writing on it in a like plastic plate something. And he looked like he got a wristcraft something. I
Oh,
just
I don't know. I really don't know anything about that. But I appreciate guys, y'all coming up. Is there any last things that you would like to say, Martin? I'm about to close it down.
I want to
So
say
is there,
all right.
something for Blitz and Urban and Brainwaves, and then I'm
mm-hmm,
mute my mic. I want to say this: when you're in the community, you do your part. It's up to the people if they down with it or not. So the test is forcing the law because they have to. That is for us to sharpen with each other. We've been separated for so long. The wheat must get with the wheat, and the tares must get with the tares. The Most High is happening to it as He don't want you to get comfortable. A lot of us, by default, gets comfortable, not aware, not looking at the real big picture. They falling. They don't have nothing to feed off no more. They're done.
mm-hmm.
They the ones who's pushing fear. We pushing solutions. So let them do what they do. Now it's unfortunate that a lot of people's getting arrested, but the Bible does talk about some of the people will be in prisons in the
Right.
last days. That's the Most High said, I control the good and the evil. I control all things, not some things. And sometimes I talked to somebody that was in prison. He said, you know what? Even though he was falsified, the Most High protected him. Sometimes, look at Joseph was locked up. Christ was locked up. Moses was locked up. So our forefathers went through the transparency, and sometimes the Most High sent you to message to the people in prison. Some of the most brightest people is in prison right now.
That's true. I've seen it.
They're doing it by design.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm
I'm,
saying.
I'm, I'm gonna I'm gonna get off of here. You made a really good point, brother, and salute to you, brother. What's your name? Marlon.
Ralo.
You made a really good point, brother. Seriously. It all I'm saying, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let everybody else, and I'm gonna drop off. But with me, I don't look up to the Most High to look up what I'm gonna do in my life. I feel like I'm making a difference in my life one step at a time. And if I feel that way, other people should feel that way because I don't
You're cutting out, Blizzy. So I don't know if you.
He
Okay.
must have lost his signal.
Yeah, that's okay. If he comes up before I end it, then okay. Okay,
I'm
Blizzy.
sorry,
Can I have something to say?
I had a phone call.
After
Like
I mute.
I don't
Hold
live my
on,
life.
Martin. You can talk after Blizzy. What did
Yeah,
you say?
I don't live my life that way. I live my life a quarter mile a day, and what that means is that like if I'm a good person, I don't go by off of the white man Bible. I don't go off the
Okay.
white man Bible because that Bible that you're listening to, if you tell everybody to read it, they don't even know what they're reading. I go by
Okay.
what I can be by myself. If I'm a good person by myself, then I can
Mm-hmm.
help with somebody else.
All
I
right.
don't
Well,
I don't read because everybody's a sinner. We born sinners.
mm-hmm.
So God is giving us an opportunity to give somebody a testimony or a story or do something that's gonna help a community. If you have no
Right.
voice, then be silent. If you're gonna do something for somebody else, then help your local person. Help the lady at the grocery store that's
Mhm.
getting out of her car that can't help herself. Help the kid on the street. You got a lot of black fathers that don't even take care of their kids.
Right.
But they want to
Mhm.
read the Bible and say, "Well, God's gonna help me," but you don't take care of your children that you got all over the world.
No, I agree with that. Yes, I
So,
do.
trusting a human being in today's world is like trusting like throwing a mountain in a mole. It's not gonna happen.
Right. Well, all right.
Take care of yourself. But I'm done. Thank you guys for having me
All
up.
right. Thank you, Blizzy. I appreciate it. Guys, I've had a long day, so I appreciate you guys so much. And I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. It's Saturday evening, so I hope you guys enjoy your families or whatever you do. Yeah, like I said, I'm a little tired, so this has been a very insightful
Yeah,
live.
yeah, you look tired too. You look like you about to fall asleep. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I
Go
was
on and
like,
stream.
okay.
You know
I try,
exactly
I
what you
try to
got to
keep
shake
it.
it off, Selena.
Look,
Look,
yeah,
shake
I'm
it off.
trying to keep it cute. So I was like, all right, yeah, everything was good. I think everyone had. Thank you, Martin, for coming up. And I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. So thank you so much for coming through. Yeah, when my eyes get tight, that means I'm getting sleepy. So just to let y'all know, when you see my eyes getting real tight, yeah, it's
Hey,
time.
hey, gentlemen, that just like a woman got fed all this knowledge and she ready to go to sleep.
Oh, Lord.
That's
I was
true.
like,
Gotta get
okay,
that rest in.
let's wind it up. So, but y'all, thank you so much. I'm gonna play my little outro. Shout out to the word for my outro. And guys, I hope you have a blessed day. And hopefully I'll see you guys on Monday. Please sub up to Mr. Ralo, Brainwaves, Urban. And if you are a content creator in my chat and you have a mod stick and you're still here, you can also put your channel in my chat as well. I appreciate you guys for coming through, pressing the like button. Press the like button if you would like to give to me monetarily. I'm Selena Star for my Cash App. Also, my what do you call those? My super chats, as well as my memberships, because some videos I do have on my memberships. So that I that I don't want to put out there, but hey, it is what it is. We all have our days, but I do have some insightful videos that I have on my membership. So you guys sub up or join if you can or you want to. I appreciate it. Talk to you guys later. And I'm at X stage left. See y'all. Wrong. Oh, did you have something to say, Urban? Before I
Nah, I just said peace out in the
peace
stream.
out. I don't push.
Good, Selena.
I don't push the wrong thing. Okay, bye, y'all.
Selena.
It's a bad baby. Oak Cliff girl. Can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl. Put them heels on and prove my
Welcome to
worth.
Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good. We can do whatever we want to do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe. Yeah, you gon' be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, and I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana boo boo.